The following show is brought to you by the CANUCKLEHEADS Broadcasting Company, eh? All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of the CANUCKLEHEADS Show. My name is Frankie, and I'm from the New West Reset channel.
I'm Chris over at Old World Exploration.
And as mentioned, this is the CANUCKLEHEADS Show, episode 18. 18, right?
18. Yeah, a couple of years we've been at this now.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe 18 episodes already. What are we doing this time around, bud?
Edmonton, and I'm going to defer to you. Edmonton, the capital city of the province of Alberta, where Frankie resides.
That is correct. Yes, I'm in Calgary, which is the bigger of the two cities. But Edmonton is the capital. It's about 3 hours north driving on the number 2 highway. There's kind of Alberta's sort of known as having a north-south corridor of the major cities for the most part.
Oh yeah, direct route, right? Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Almost as straight north as the crow flies. So yeah, it's about just over 300 kilometers, or what is that, like 130-ish miles?
Ooh, math. You're doing math on the
150-ish miles. It's a 3-hour drive, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, the capital city. You know what? It's not bad. It's not a bad place at all. It's especially nice in the summertime.
Yeah, I like it.
Winters are a little rough.
We've vacationed there a few times now with the kids. They got the Super Mall. We go there for their spring break vacation, and it's just a way to get away from our town and get to the big city for a couple of days.
Yeah, that's right. They have that big West Edmonton Mall, which I think until the Mall of America was built was the largest mall in the world.
Yeah, and I'm not a mall guy, so don't get me wrong, folks. Like, I'm not a shopper or any of that kind of stuff. It's just a little indoor. When it's that cold, you want to be indoors, trust me.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that it's more than a mall.
Yeah.
I mean, how most, shopping malls or shopping centers will have a food court. This place, has a couple of food courts, but then it has what's called a restaurant avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an entire wing that shoots off to the main body of the mall. It's an entire wing that has like 30 restaurants in.
What do they call that? Bourbon Street?
Yeah, Bourbon Street. And then, of course, it has the water park. It's got water slides and a wave pool.
Yeah, they're not just any water slides. It's huge. That's the big reason the kids always want to go there is the water park.
Yeah, the water park inside that mall is pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those crazy malls that you don't even need to do any shopping there, and you could still spend 2 days in there doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but lots of nice old world, though. Lots of nice old buildings.
Yeah. Edmonton's a very, very interesting place, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of that, links below for everything we're going to cover. Normally on the show here, what we do is I kind of go over some strange, kind of wacky stories that have to do with whatever city we're in and exploring. And then we take a mid-show break, and then Chris knocks it home with a nice file of old world photos of some of the, what I would say are candidates for pre-reset or extremely old world buildings.
Well, just the timeline, man. That's what gets me. It's just, I want to put out a disclaimer too. If you hear any background raucous noise, my wife and kids are playing Monopoly upstairs, so if it gets a little crazy, you might hear it, just so people know.
Do not collect go to not collect.
That's
$200.
Right. That's right.
Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Yeah, so links below for everything we're going to cover, as well as how you can get a hold of either or both of us. All the info on how you can get a hold of Chris or myself for our channels is all in the description below. Speaking of which, what do you say we say hello to everybody in the chat, see how everybody's doing here?
Good, yeah.
got to take care of some house cleaning. You know, please do all the things. Hit the like and share the live stream if you haven't shared it. Subscribe if you're new. You know, all the things all the million other channels you watch tell you a million times to do. Do that here too, please. Make sure you're still subscribed because there's been some shenanigans.
You never know.
Yeah. You might just wake up one day and find, hey, I'm been unsubscribed from this channel or that channel. Kinley Jackson in the box in the chat. Good to see you, Kinley. How you doing? I call him KJ. That's what I call him. Tonto Bong Ronto. Good to see you. Our buddy Paul Thaddeus over on Rumble. Because, yeah, I'm over on the Rumble too there, everybody. Wiley is here as well. What was that? Sorry?
Merry Christmas. I was saying it back to Tonto.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All the best of the season.
Yeah.
Yuletide greetings. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. New Year is, what year are we going to be in? 1026, 2026.
We're going to start that one, eh?
Yeah. It's, well, I mean, like you were saying, that's these build times, the timeline itself with a lot of these official narratives, and we know that they've added years here, compressed time there, stretched other times here and there, depending on where it is in the official quote unquote his story, right?
What did they used to call it? The year of our Lord, 2026.
That's correct. That's correct. Sonny Kim is here and Scottish Tarts. Hello. Good to see you. Chadwell and Meltological. Kathy Broughton. Howdy, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Maxwell Smart is here. That's right. Maxwell Smart.
Excellent.
Babylon Fox. That's Stephanie Babylon Fox.
Hey, Steph.
Good to see all of you here. Thanks for taking time. Well, it's going to be a little bit late for some of you over there at the East Coast, or sort of Eastern Atlantic time, Eastern time, even Central. It's getting there. So thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Susan Westerfield. It's early for you though, there, eh, bud? It's like what, 7 o'clock there for you?
Wow, what do you mean early? I'm getting older.
Okay.
It's not that far from bedtime, although it is the holidays, so the kids stay up later, and I guess I stay up the same as I usually do, but yeah, I guess it's relatively early. Yeah,
I go to bed a little earlier in the winter than I do in the summer, because I'm one of those people that gets tired once it gets dark, and then I start waking up when the sun comes up.
Yeah, which is late this time of year.
Yeah, see, the thing is that once I'm through the summer, I'm kind of waking up, 5:30, maybe 6 at the latest. And that kind of becomes habit. So by the time it's this time of year, where it doesn't get light until almost 9 in the morning, I'm still waking up at, 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, we're looking at 6.5, 7 hours of daylight up where I am anyway. I don't know if it's that much different from where you are this time of year.
Yeah, roughly sunrise at roughly 9 a.m. and sunset roughly 4:30, 5 o'clock, give or take. But yesterday was the solstice, I believe.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, I was wondering exactly when it was. Doesn't it fluctuate from year to year?
It's either 21st, 22nd, depending. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I think yesterday this year was the winter solstice. So now the days are going to start getting longer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cold here too. It's minus 20 Celsius.
Yeah, that's cold. It's cold here too. It's we're heading into a Chinook. I don't want to brag. I don't like to boast, but I like hot butter on my breakfast toast. And we're going to be getting Chinook. Those are the warm winds from the Pacific. But it's minus 20 now Celsius. Okay. Which for my American friends, minus 20 Celsius is, oh no, so it's, minus.
Drum roll. That's the worst conversion ever.
I know. Celsius. It's minus, it says here it feels like minus 29 degrees Celsius here in Calgary right now, which is minus 20 Fahrenheit. That's what was confusing me.
You pack your toque around in this weather.
Oh, for sure there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have your toque there, eh? Because if not, oof, there's gonna be some trouble.
Yeah.
It's
a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
You ever notice that Canadians call them Canadians? We call them toques, but most of the time Americans call them beanies.
Beanies. Yeah. I've heard beanie. I didn't know they were the same thing, actually. Isn't a beanie?
Gee, no, I'd never noticed that.
Beanie is more tight to the head, though, isn't it? Where a toque.
I thought a beanie was like one. It looks like a yarmulke, but it's got a propeller on it. That's what I always thought a beanie was. It's got the little propeller. You know what I'm talking about.
You want like the air gap.
Tight-fitting skull cap, but it has a propeller.
Oh, in this weather, you want that air gap. There's a little bit of extra insulation with the air when you let your toque sort of pop up above your head.
That's right. You want it. Yeah, that's right. Well, and you lose most of your body heat through your head there, eh, bud? So if you put on your knitted cap, your toque, your beanie, well, you'll be nice and toasty there, eh?
Yep.
Nice and toasty. Anyway, should we quit being typical Canadians and
moaning
about the weather?
Let's get down to business. Sorry, folks. Sorry about all that.
Sorry about that, eh?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm more sorrier.
I don't know.
So, what do you say we pull up the Google Maps here on the goggle machine?
All right.
Show folks where Edmonton is, or as we like to call it here in Alberta, we call it Edmonchuck. Because there's a lot of Ukrainians up there, not just recently because of the thing going on over there that we can't talk about, but just historically, in the 1800s, supposedly a lot of the early pioneers were Ukrainian, Prussian, and German
bricklayers,
farmers and ranchers.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say bricklayers.
Well, they did that on the side. Otherwise, how are they going to get all those wonderful structures?
That's right.
So here's Canada land here. And Chris is over here in British Columbia, which is neither British nor at all like Columbia, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm down here in Calgary, and we're going to be looking at Edmonton, the capital city, right here. It's sort of mid-central Alberta, but in Calgary, we consider that you're getting into northern Alberta there, eh? Which really you're not.
You're not. No, there's
but Edmonton is so far. Because you got to remember, Alberta is about the size of Texas, and we're not even the biggest province here. So Edmonton's pretty far from Calgary. Like I said, you take the number 2 highway from Calgary, almost a straight line north.
It's about 7 hours for me to get there.
Really? Eh? Do you come through Jasper?
You betcha.
Yeah, so you go through Grand Cache and Jasper, right?
No, not Grand Cache. That's a bit north.
Yeah, you go through Hinton and you go through Marlborough.
I don't even notice it. Marlborough. Once I hit Hinton, I put the pedal down. I go about 140.
You just start giving her, eh, bud?
Oh yeah, it's straight. I'm from BC, so the roads wind. Once you get past Hinton, it's straight and flat.
Yeah, once it becomes straight and flat here out of the foothills, yeah.
Somebody's asking.
You can just put the pedal to the metal.
I'm in Prince George, McKinley. Just so you know.
Yeah, right here, eh? Yeah. Don't dox the guy now. Come on now.
I've done it many times.
Yeah, Prince George, BC.
Yeah.
It's lovely up there. It's mountainous, forested. There's a lot of lakes.
Yeah.
So you can get some fishing done.
You got to come up this way, Frankie. Come up for a vacation one of these days. We'll put you up.
I really should come up there.
That'd be fun.
I've been there before, but it was probably, I think it was when I was a teenager, and it was a road trip on my motorcycle with some buddies.
Oh, cool. That sounds fun. Where were you headed?
About 5 of us had motorcycles, and we just kind of actually went to Edmonton. We spent a day in Edmonton, then we zipped it through Jasper, and we went there to Prince George, and then we went down through the Okanagan Valley.
Oh, you looped it. Nice.
And then we headed west to Vancouver, and we spent 3 days in Vancouver and then a couple of days in Victoria. And then we hopped back in the mainland, went down to Seattle and Portland, and then came up through Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Really nice.
And then through the Crow's Nest Pass in southern Alberta.
That's a hell of a trip.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks. I think I was 17. Most of my buddies were 17, 18. We all had motorcycles, so there was the 5 of us. Tenting a lot of the time, just camp it overnight.
Yep. Cool.
If we knew we were going to stay longer, then we just get a couple of motel rooms. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
It was a good
sounds
time.
like
I
it.
highly suggest road trips for a young man and his bros.
Mhm.
It's a good time.
Good time in life. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so I've got the what I like to call the Wikipedia, just to give us what the normies would look up if they're trying to figure out. Oh, Edmonton. Well, where's that? What's that all about? And there's a couple of Edmontons. There's one in the UK, and I think there's one down under there. Crikey, down under. I think there's an Edmonton. So this is Edmonton, Alberta. We're talking. It's the capital city of the Canadian province of Alberta. Situated on the North Saskatchewan River, even though Saskatchewan is a completely different province. It's not the North Alberta River, no.
Yeah.
Anyways, and it's the center of the Edmonton metropolitan region. Yeah, it's surrounded by a center, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's fine. Let's get into the origin of the name. First permanent settlement in the area of what is now Edmonton was the Hudson's Bay Company.
Wow, what do you know?
Fur trading outpost. And it was known as Fort Edmonton, or also known as Edmonton House. It was named after Edmonton, Middlesex in England. I say, jolly good, there it is, sir. The fort's name was chosen by William Thomason, who was in charge of its construction. Sure, I guess if you build it, you get to name it. Why not? The earliest known inhabitants arrived in the area of what is now Edmonton around 3000 BC. Okay. Sure. And perhaps as early as 12,000.
Whoa, there's a gap.
Just a 9,000 year gap. It's fine. It's totally fine. Why? I don't understand what the problem is.
Here we are making a big deal of 1,000 years missing, and they got 9,000 there.
Right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Vague.
Vague. Be there in about an hour or next Thursday. Is home to several First Nations people, including Cree, Nakota Sioux, Blackfoot, Tsutsina, Ojibwa, and Denisuline.
Dennis. Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's a new one on me. Who are these folks?
We have a lot of Dene in BC. It gets used a lot.
Northern Athabascan. Okay, there you go. So the valley of North Saskatchewan River, particularly the area of Edmonton, was settled to varying degrees for thousands of years, providing many essential resources, including fish, medicine, and materials for tool making, such as chert or quartzite. They used for axes, knives, and arrowheads. Yes, of course, the primitive...
Yeah, hunter-gatherers.
Hunter-gatherer, primitive, wild, crazy, redskin Indians. Look out, they'll get you. Using quartzite to make arrowheads, apparently.
Yeah,
sure.
Great
Anywhere between 3,000 and 12,000 years. Somewhere in that time.
Yeah.
So in here we go. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes here. In 1754, Anthony Henday, an explorer for the Hudson's Bay Company, may have been the first European to enter the Edmonton area.
May or may not.
I don't believe you.
So his expeditions across the prairies of Rupert's Land, that's sort of what Canada basically was called before it was Canada. Kind of, sort of. That was the Hudson's Bay owned territory of 3 million square miles, where they did all their fur trapping, apparently. It was mainly to seek contact with the indigenous population for establishing, well, there it is, the fur trade.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
By 1795, Fort Edmonton was established on the river's north bank as a major trading post for the Hudson's Bay Company fur trading guys. Yada, yada, yada. By 1813, after some changes in location, Fort Edmonton was established in the area of what is now Rossdale. So there was more than one Fort Edmonton, they're trying to tell us, I guess.
Yeah.
There was one in one place in 1795, and then they got impatient. So 18 years later, they either moved it or built another one of the same name. 1876 now. They'd signed treaties with a bunch of indigenous peoples so they can screw them over right good. Okay, sure. Oh, of course, and now here you go, Chris. Incorporated as a town in 1892 with a population of 700 people.
Is that so?
And then as a city in 1904 with a population of 8,350. So in the span of 12 years, they went from 700 people to 8,500, basically.
Yeah, you'll see what they were building during that time.
Exactly. Edmonton became the capital of Alberta when the province was formed a year later in 1905, September 1st. Yeah, that's when we joined Canadadia there, buddy.
Isn't that a funny story? I don't know if you were going to get to this with the whole. Is it going to be Edmonton or Calgary? Wasn't it just sort of a toss of the coin?
There was I wasn't really going to get into it too much. I didn't pull up any articles on it, but I did figure it would come up. It was kind of a toss-up for a while, a competition between who would become the capital, Calgary or Edmonton. And Calgary was larger at the time and always has been. But it went to Edmonton because the railroad was much more northerly coming out of Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
Or because they already had a Capitol building. Whoops.
You're letting the cat out of the bag, bud. I'm just trying to give you official BS.
Sorry, I don't mean to step on your toes here. I'll back off.
No, you got it right. Yeah, Paul's 900-year gap ish. That's fine. Sonny Kim says 9K, 9 million, same difference. Yeah, just give or take. No, it's because supposedly the railroad was further north. Mm-hmm. So it would be easier because part of becoming a province and joining the Dominion of Canada was that you'd have to build your fair share of the railroad. In other words, finance your railroad as they were building it. So when Alberta wanted to join, they said, yeah, we bring the railroad through here. But it was easier to go slightly north to hit Edmonton, supposedly what they say, rather than turning drastically south to hit Calgary, which they did end up eventually doing anyways. So I don't know what the big deal was. But.
Exactly.
So probably you're right. They already had a Capitol building. There it is right there. She's a beaut.
She's a beaut.
So Edmonton became the capital in 1905. And then in November of 2005, the Canadian Northern Railway arrived in Edmonton, accelerating its growth.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So you had the Canadian Pacific Railway, and then the Canadian Northern came into town too. So that supposedly is supposed to explain the two big population booms, of which there was one last one after WW2, of course, as per usual. I did pull up another quick Wikipedia just about a brief overview of the history of Edmonton. This gets into, aside from what we already explored in a previous article. So the first settlement outside of the fort in the 1870s, pioneer farmers living in rustic log cabins along the river. These farms formed the structure for the 1882 survey of the land into river lots. Now, I would like everybody to try to remember this 1882 survey of the land, so that they could have these lots or river lots. With exceptions to the usual grid formation, Dominion land survey dominant across the rest of the prairies. 1885 Street at Fort Edmonton Park represents the early hamlet of Edmonton. Now, Edmonton was established 1894. And then 1870, the Hudson's Bay granted a reserve on much of the present downtown. But by 1913, they'd sold off most of the land they owned. Because, yeah, the Hudson's Bay Trading Company was a big landholding company, much like CP Rail also had a big, massive landholdings division. So as they were supposedly building the railroad out west, they were gobbling up all this land.
You know what I was looking into recently? Just a quick sidebar: the Alaskan Purchase by the states, 1867. Something we don't really think about is the Russian presence in Western North America.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I discussed that, or I touched on it a bit in my Reset 1700 documentary, that
Yep.
there were Russian, British, and Spanish settlements all along the North American West Coast. The further south you went, it became more and more predominantly Spanish.
Yeah.
But once you hit sort of the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and then coming up along the west coast of Canada, and then obviously once you get into, Alaska, they were skewed a lot more heavily towards being Russian settlements. And of course, indigenous First Nations peoples all along the way there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just interesting because the British education system seems to have been successful in wiping that part of the history of the area from our memory for whatever reason it might be.
Yeah, and of course, as per usual, what they do is they change the names of a lot of the towns.
Yep.
Or what used to be a settlement with a Russian name. Once it became large enough to become a town, then they changed the name when they changed their status from, settlement or hamlet or village to a actual incorporated town, right?
Yeah, it's interesting if you weave it into the, dare I say, Tartaria theory, crossing that whole land bridge and whatever it might be, and getting into maybe the truth of the history of the area. Who knows? It's just
well, at the very least, there would have been a lot of trading between, whomever was occupying the northwestern regions of what we now call Canada, or the U.S. with Alaska,
mm-hmm.
and whoever was on the northeast coast of present-day Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, you can island hop. It's not that far. It's not much further than traveling from Cuba to Florida. It's maybe only twice as far, but there's a lot of islands that you can sort of use as little stopovers along your way between the east coast of northern Russia there and Siberia, basically, right? And the far west tip of Alaska.
Yeah, well, even if you look at the coast of British Columbia, Alaska comes halfway down the coast of the province. It's got like a little arm. I was going to say something else, but
yeah, it has a little
appendage.
Appendage. There's an extra appendage there, dangling right in our faces.
That's right.
Thanks a lot.
Anyway.
Really don't.
We've fallen off topic here, Frankie.
Gotta get this back on track here. Get back on track.
All right.
But like you were saying, okay, so the fur trading company comes in, right, and they're building all these log forts and whatnot, and then supposedly Edmonton was chosen as the capital because of the railroad. And then you pose the question, well, perhaps they already had a capital building.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only photo that I'm going to share for the entire stream. That's your wheelhouse.
All right, thank you.
But I got to show you. I got to share this photo. Boom! There it is. So here's the Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Company's Fort Edmonton, and there's the Capitol building in the background. Just look at the juxtaposition. That supposedly the same peoples built this with this kind of tech and also built this. And this little photo that's prepped for a postcard doesn't even do the Capitol building justice. No. Just giving you a little bit of for what I'm sure Chris is going to present later. But yeah, this sums up Edmonton and the official story right here. Look how redonkulous this looks. Well, we're going to trade some beaver pelts with the native Indians here in our rickety wooden fort. What's that up on the hill? Don't worry about that. That's just where the lawmakers are going to make the decisions.
We're getting ready to be a capital.
Yeah, we're fixing to be the capital up here. We're just waiting on the choo-choo to make its way over.
That's right.
And then we'll be good to go there, bud. Like, come on, man. I love that photo.
It's good. I have that one too. Yeah.
Every time I see it, I just start giggling like a child.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share an article here from CBC News. So it's government-sponsored news. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt.
Or two.
Yeah, take it with you know what they call salt lick that the cattle have out in the pasture?
Yeah.
Take it with one of them.
Yeah.
This is CBC.ca News. And this is an article, Mapping Edmonton's Long-Forgotten Coal Mines. I lived in Edmonton for almost 3 years, two and 3/4 years. I just couldn't do that third winter. I had to get, well, the getting was good. But I'd never heard of coal mining in Edmonton. So long before Northeast Edmonton was a sprawling suburb, it was a bustling mining town. And according to historian Shirley Lowe, the area is still riddled with long-forgotten mining tunnels.
Wow.
Really? Underground tunnels under a city, you say? Wow, that's new to me. Nope. Not one little bit.
Even in Edmonton.
The coal industry pretty much fueled the early development of the city, says Lowell, Edmonton's former historian laureate. I thought it was, didn't they just say in the previous article in the Wikipedia that it was all about the Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Company?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess, you know, just whatever, I guess. Our electrical system ran on coal. Of course. Our streetcars ran on coal. It heated our homes and fueled our trains. So it was really handy to be sitting on that resource. We're still sitting on big seams of coal. So wait, the streetcars ran on coal? No, they didn't. They were electric streetcars.
That's a laureate you're questioning there, a historian laureate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, my
know your place.
I know. Shame. Shame. Underneath downtown Edmonton and east through Beverly lies a network of collapsed coal mine tunnels, remnants of a booming industry that existed from the 1880s to the 1940s. Edmonton, it was established in 1870.
Yeah, there's what, 700 people there?
And they built the downtown on top of collapsed coal mines. That does not sound structurally safe.
Where were the engineers at the time? Where were the engineers?
I'll tell you what, we got to build these skyscraper buildings here. You know, these 7 and 8 story brick and sandstone buildings here. It's 1902. We got to get with the times and build them big here. Yeah. So, yeah, but there's coal mines underneath the ground here. All right, well, we better collapse them then.
Yeah.
Just
pack them down.
There's coal mines under there, and I think they're writing off pre-existing underground tunnels as, oh, yeah, those were coal mines, buddy. That's what I.
You're probably onto something there, Frankie.
One of the historic remnants was recently unearthed beneath the Rundle neighborhood. Construction on the Ivor Dent School was halted this month after a site inspection revealed a 111-year-old coal mine may be buried 30 meters below the surface. It's about 65 feet. It's always a construction company building something, and then whoopsie, we stumbled upon some ancient thing that everybody seems to have conveniently forgotten about. Lowell said more of the hidden passageways will be brought to light as the new development spreads eastward through the city's oldest neighborhoods. So they're almost really admitting that it's in the oldest neighborhoods where they're finding these tunnels. Sorry, mines. Mine shafts, coal mines. The caution would be, look for them, Lowell said during a Friday, but not all of them are marked. Oh, great. So there's pre-existing supposed coal mines under the ground, but they don't exactly know where they all are? Terrific. So I guess be careful when you're taking your dog for a walk in Edmonton. Mining companies keen to cash in on the coal boom often failed to follow the rules, and many underground tunnels were never documented.
Feels like retroactive history going on here in this article.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. One company reported 7 drift mines, but then they actually found 21. So they have no idea how many of these things are 30 meters under the ground, under some downtown and some of the suburbs just outside of the old city. There's a
Jeez.
picture of this poor horse. I mean, I feel bad for these dudes, but they're doing it kind of sort of voluntarily, I guess. But the horse, I mean, he's got no choice. Yeah, get in there, boy.
Horses did everything back then, eh?
Yeah. That's why we still use horsepower, I guess. I don't know. Poor horse. You think they use Shetland ponies, those little miniature horses in the coal mines, because they're smaller.
Yeah.
They can get through the tight squeezes.
That's right.
But I don't know. I don't know what you folks in the chat thought about that article, but I thought that was just wacky. But I'm not surprised. Oh, underground tunnels under the city, you say? I'm shocked. Okay, I'm not shocked.
Nice find.
I mean, it's almost becoming like a meme. You know what I mean? That underground. This city had underground tunnels. Really? So did my city. I live in St. Louis, and we got underground city. Oh yeah, so do we in Seattle. So do we in Toronto. I mean, it's just everywhere.
Yeah, we start out poking fun at the buildings that make no sense, and then you realize the entire substructure is brick. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Kathy says the story is killing me. It's so ridiculously funny. Sonny Kim says they could be looking for one thing, and the people who are writing the history can say another thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cover. And
then they just cover their behinds. I almost swore. I almost cursed.
It's late enough. It's late enough.
Okay. They double cover their asses, you know, by making up a couple of stories to cover for it. And then to say, oh, and they didn't even document how many tunnels they dug with these coal mines. So if they didn't tell us, how are we supposed to know?
And they get caught directly contradicting themselves in the same article. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's why I like using the Wikipedia, even on my Sunday live shows, because let's face it, most quote unquote normies, when they want to find out about something, no one's getting up off their keister and going down to the library and grabbing an encyclopedia and looking something up, right?
Yeah.
Do they even print those anymore? Probably not.
Yeah, no.
Most people just get on the old interwebs and type a few things, and whatever the first website pops up, which is usually Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Robert's your mother's brother, you know, Bob's your uncle. Just boom. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Coal mining tunnels all under Edmonton. And they done forgot plumb how many they dug. Whoopsies.
I'm going to find out the hard way when they dig a foundation for a building, I suppose.
Yeah, or, you know, like when they're building a school. But they also just, apparently the entire area is littered with them. So just be careful you don't fall into a freaking open coal mine shaft. You know what I'm saying?
I'd never heard that at all about Edmonton.
I'd never heard that about Edmonton either. And like I said, I lived there.
Crazy.
I'd never heard that there was coal mining tunnels underneath Edmonton.
Yeah.
I did hear that there was tunnels underneath the legislature building.
I was going to get to that. Yeah.
That's the only Edmonton tunnel related thing I'd ever heard.
Oh, and that's not even secret. You can actually, there's glass openings. You can look down at the tunnels that connect it to the buildings nearby.
Yeah, because those glass things let light down in there, because there's also the train station is down underground there, right? Most of Edmonton's train is like Calgary. It's like the old streetcar style. It's on the street, not like a subway.
Yeah.
But there's certain sections of Edmonton where it is a subway.
Yeah.
And under the legislature is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a crazy place. But we'll let you get into that. This was something goofy I found because when I mentioned earlier I was living in Edmonton, I lived close to the Edmonton Ski Club, the ski hill in Edmonton.
Come on, a ski hill in Edmonton.
Yeah, there's one here in Calgary. There's a ski hill in downtown Edmonton.
As
But-
a British Columbian, I scoff at that.
Well, that's because you have entire mountains to ski.
Exactly.
You know, if you live in Edmonton, it's like a 2.5-3 hour drive to the mountains.
Oh yeah.
Here in Calgary, it's only an hour to drive to the mountains.
Yeah.
But in Edmonton, it's a little further.
It's a ways.
But I was like, wait a second, what is this? So this is Connors Hill in Edmonton, okay? So it's part of the Edmonton Ski Club. So get this, the history of the Edmonton Ski Club was founded in 1911. All right. And with the construction of its own ski jumping hill for the winter 1912, it wanted to surpass the ski jump of Fram Ski Club at Camrose, which is not too far away from Edmonton. I guess Edmonton always likes to pick fights with other cities. Edmonton's trying to compete with Calgary all the time. Edmonton's now firing across the bow of Camrose for some reason. But anyways, during the 1913 competition, which was attended by 5,000 spectators, John Hogan jumped a Canadian record of 109 feet. By 1926, the ski jump had become ramshackle and had to be closed. Only in 1935, it was modernized and reopened. After WW2, interest in ski jumping steadily declined, and thus the last competition at Connors Hill was held in 1975. I don't understand what the correlation is between WW2 and people no longer interested in ski jumping.
Almost like they reset what we thought was worth doing. You know,
maybe, but it still took until 1975. I mean, that's like 30 years after WW2. So I just thought that was weird. But then they love just throwing all these dates and numbers because you get all discombobulated. 3 years later, the ski jump, of which the in-run and table crossed Connors Road, was dismantled. Today, the area is still used by Edmonton ski clubs and alpine ski. So there's still a ski slope here. But they built a ski jump over Connors Road.
Wow. I mean,
this is the ski jump.
You don't have a lot of options in Edmonton, so you got to do it where it makes sense to do it.
Hey guys, you want to have some winter fun to help pass the doldrums of the cold days of Canadian winters? Hey kids, let's have some family fun and go skiing. Come on, little Johnny. Go over that ski jump that goes over a 4-lane highway. You'll be fine. Go ahead, little Becky. Give it a try. What the Sam Steele is going on here? Here it is in the 70s. We jump over a 4-lane highway. Take off. There's no way.
Can you imagine the Instagram reels that would come out of that if it was still active?
It's just so... I just don't. I don't get it. Scott Baker says Tartaria roller coaster ride.
Yeah. I think I saw Kairos in the chat there too. Hey, Kairos and Shawnee B's in there. Hey guys.
Oh yeah, I'm losing track. Canada Dummies here as well. Yeah, there's Kairos. Hello. Shawnee B here as well. Happy holidays to all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so look at this thing.
You wouldn't catch me going down that.
I mean, Canadians used to be pretty hardy folk.
Used to
you know, lumberjacks and fishermen and voyageurs and you know, winter sportsmen. But even most Canadians, I think, would turn their nose up at this. There's no way I'm going down that rickety thing that goes over a 4-lane highway in Edmonton there, eh, bud? So like I said, they eventually dismantled it, but the ski hill is still there, but I guess they stopped short of the highway now. Phew. I was just like, get out of here. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Classic. We used to have something here called the Sand Blast. We got big cut banks in Prince George, and people would go down them on like sofas with like makeshift skis underneath. Yeah, and eventually, I think a guy was like critically injured. It was ridiculous. There's some crazy
Oh,
accidents,
ouch. Okay.
and they shut it down. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. John's in there. I saw Robert in there as well. Willie. I think we already said hello, but
Yeah,
nice to
Wiley's
see.
here. Wiley Metz here. He lives in Montana there, eh, buddy? He's
Yeah.
he's our neighbor.
Yeah. Lots of content creators in here tonight. How y'all doing, folks?
Thanks for joining us once again. CANUCKLEHEADS, episode 18. We're looking at Edmonton up in Alberta, the capital city here in Purdy, Alberta. Okay, so I have one last article here. This is from edmonton.ca. This is the city's official site. And this gets more into the sort of the surveying and plotting of land to sell off as, to build your house or what have you. Just pull this up here. Again, this is edmonton.ca government website. This is their official archives. This is called Edmonton's Hidden Communities. So most Edmontonians either rent or own their home, whether they live in an apartment townhouse, yada, yada. Okay. However, this was not always the case. For over 100 years, people in Edmonton have bucked the ordinary and lived in tents, shacks, old mines, and homes they built themselves on private or public land. There have been many such communities in Edmonton over the years. These are some of their stories. So settling in early Edmonton, when Edmonton first developed in the 1870s and early 1880s, there's no local government to ensure standards were met and little oversight on where things were built. It was not until 1882 that the system of land titles and homesteads was introduced in Western Canada. So there's that date that they alluded to in that Wikipedia article. Before this time, the Northwest Mounted Police kept order, though there were times when local citizens took it upon themselves. Without properly surveyed lots, people who had been living in Edmonton for several years had no legal rights to their land. And as new settlers arrived, some squatted on land already claimed. That sounds familiar in today's modern times.
Yeah.
But they're jumbling around this 1882. First, they said that, they had these river lots. And now they're saying that in 1882, it was madness and people were just building tents and shacks wherever, willy-nilly, wherever they saw fit.
Wild West narrative.
Yes, of course. How could I forget the Wild West narrative? Ooh, that doesn't sound comfortable, Kathy. She says she twisted her knee skiing in Colorado. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember you saying that you have emotional damage whenever you watch any of my vintage footage, old-timey skiing videos that I find and I upload. Here's that Matthew Macaulay guy. When Edmonton was incorporated as a town in 1892, Matthew Macaulay became the first mayor. So like 700 people, right?
Yep.
Some of the first bylaws passed related to buildings and were designed to protect public health against fire.
Of course. Fire.
They're worried about fire in 1892 when everybody's living in tents and abandoned mines, apparently. So there's not going to be any kind of legislation on where you can build, but there's going to be some legislation as to what you can build. We'll figure out the where later when all the new settlers come in, and then all of a sudden we've sold the land that you've been living on for years to them.
Just build something nice.
As time passed, government regulations to promote health and safety had a major impact on how the city dealt with alternative living arrangements. That's what they're calling it. These tent towns, living at the dump. Oh, that sounds nice.
Literally at the dump. Nice.
So that's just a short but sweet little article, but I just thought it was kind of funny because in the previous article, they were talking about how, basically they divided river lots up and they were starting to get organized, but then this one said, no way, bud. They were everywhere, all over the place. They were just building wherever, including in the city dump, apparently.
It looks pretty well gridded to me, Edmonton.
Well, yeah, it is now. But there
Mhm.
are some streets in Edmonton that when you go to like some of the older parts of Edmonton,
Mm.
it's sort of the older downtown, like their quote unquote warehouse district, which is now their entertainment district, right? Where all the restaurants and bars are in the old brick buildings.
Yeah, those are the ones that really screw you
are
up
all
when you're
wonky.
driving. You know, you're driving down there and it's all gridded and it's easy, and then you hit one of those streets and all of a sudden it just throws you out of whack trying to get to where you're going.
Yeah, and then not to mention a lot of streets have to descend downward towards the river valley. And some do it on an angle, so it's not as steep, but then
Yeah.
others say, F that, and they go straight down. And you're like, wow, this is a steep grade, especially in the winter when I got to walk up this thing, man.
I don't have my static tires on just yet.
I mean, driving up is bad enough, but walking up,
Walking, yeah.
you got to walk up an icy sidewalk to go to the grocery store to get your weekly grocery shopping done. And it's at like a 14% grade for 6 city blocks. You get up to the top and you're like clutching your chest. I think I'm going to catch a heart attack. Not to mention it's minus 30 degrees. You're like, oh, this is super duper. Why did anybody settle up here? How and why? And that gets into the goofy build times with a lot of the buildings that Chris is going to cover coming up here, is that a lot of these build times are really short, or what would seem like a reasonable build time until you see the size and the embellishments on the building. And you're like, you got to take into account that you can't really do a lot of exterior construction work when it's minus 30, which is going to be from November or December until March. You're missing almost half a year where you can do outdoor construction work for the first parts of your project, you know, digging a foundation, pouring a foundation, or
even the
or
mortar,
building a stone foundation. Yeah, all that.
You know, it's funny too, is my old man was a bricklayer back in the UK, and he said they'd only ever really go about 5 courses high, and then you'd have to let it sit for a bit. Otherwise, you'd squish the mortar joints by piling too much weight on top. Something I'd never thought of before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mortar does have to set a little bit, because
Yeah,
mortar is fussy. You have to have it at a very certain consistency when you're applying it.
Mhm.
But then it does have to set, because the weight of your courses of bricks is you're going higher and higher up.
Yeah, something I never thought of before too. But yeah, mortar has to set in cold weather too, which
yeah, and Carlos is making a good point that you're going to have frozen ground. So you're not going to be able to, if you want to dig a foundation and then either start pouring a concrete foundation or laying a stone foundation, you can't even do it in the spring because it's all muddy and mucky. Yeah. And all that, a foot of snow that they've had in Edmonton, that they can't haul it away fast enough, especially back then. The snow is everywhere.
If you know anything about the Alberta glue, we call it, it's the mud in Alberta. It sticks to your tires when you're driving. So you can just imagine trying to dig a hole through that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you got to wait until June if you're going to, let's say you're building a 6-story brick building and it's, 1910. Yeah, you can get a steam shovel out there to dig your foundation.
Of course.
But you got to wait till June to do that. You can't start doing that in April or May. It's too mucky. So by the time you have that dug and then either your stones laid or your concrete poured and set, boom, it's fall, winter now. You got to basically halt construction. So in your first year of construction, all you've had done is your foundation dug and maybe poured.
And you better hope you don't hit a coal mine tunnel.
Exactly, man.
Or maybe you hope you do, and then it saves you on excavation.
That's right. You know what? I'm just going to live down in this old coal mine, just like in that other article.
Yeah.
I'm just going to live down here. F this. I ain't going to build a house. They'll probably kick me off of it anyways. But if I hide down here, no one will ever know.
That's right.
At least the temperature will be consistent down there underground.
That's right. Yeah.
You get down deep enough and it's fairly consistent. Oh, man, that was a good one. So that's basically what I've got for the shenanigans. So what do you say we take a quick little mid-show break here and let everybody kind of smoke them if they got them and do what they got to do. So maybe
Sounds
somebody
good.
got to take a potty break. I don't know. And
Yeah.
I'll show a video. I've got a video of Edmonton from 1950. So it's not super old, but it's got some great views of the legislature grounds and the Capitol building, as well as some other old world buildings downtown. And it's all by the streetcar system. So it's all their trolley, tram, streetcars, whatever you want to call them. So how does that sound, bud?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. What are we at here? We're coming up on almost an hour. So yeah, if you haven't already, please do all the YouTube things, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. So this, as mentioned, is Edmonton, 1949. 3 minutes long. So stick around, enjoy this old-timey video, 1949 Edmonton, and we'll see you on the other side of 3 minutes. Stick around. We'll be right back.
That was good. Catchy.
That was pretty neat, eh?
Ooh. I was dancing for a bit there.
Were you? You sound out of breath. You all right?
Well, I'm not smoking anymore.
Oh yeah, that's great. I'm the dirty smoker between the two of us.
You're like
That's
the
me.
teacher from The Simpsons.
That's right. Or
It's Kerbapple.
Right, right. And Marge's sisters
Oh, that
too,
it's
right?
Marge's sister. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yikes. So welcome back, everyone. The CANUCKLEHEADS Show, episode 18. We're looking at Edmonton, Alberta, up here in Canada. My name is Frankie. I am from the New West Reset channel.
Chris over at Old World Exploration.
Thank you very much for joining us here, everyone, for episode 18 of the CANUCKLEHEADS. Been doing this a few years now, so thanks for all of your support, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's good to see all of you.
Trying to bring you a little Old World Canada. I think that's the point of the show a little bit.
Everybody's loving the old trolleys, streetcars, the old blimps and dirigibles and airships. You know, the old way to travel just seemed like we have an old park here in Calgary called Heritage Park. It's set up like a year 1900-ish prairie town. And a lot of times if they're going to tear down an old building, they might opt to get some donations and fundraising to move the building and rebuild it at Heritage Park. So they've set it up as this frontier town. And they have an old steam train that goes around the park. And they also have an electric trolley or streetcar from 1950. They actually have two of them there. And let me tell you, the insides of these things are pretty fancy for just what would be considered back in the day, you know, your regular standard city transit. You know what I'm saying? They were really nice inside. So imagine what dirigibles and big fancy stuff would have been extra fancy. You know, dirigibles would have been like ocean liners in the sky. They had dining rooms, they had ballrooms, they had private lounges. It wasn't just the little portion underneath the big balloon part that carried passengers. The old airships were rigid inside what looks like that big balloon part. And that up in there is where there was banquet rooms and restaurants and ballrooms. They were crazy.
You know, if it weren't for that pesky Hindenburg, we might still be using them. Yeah.
No kidding. No kidding. What a debacle that was.
All right, let's stay on track. Got a map of Edmonton here for those that probably aren't familiar, which is probably most people watching. One thing I wanted to mention is you got that North Saskatchewan River ripping through diagonally. And you got the north part of Edmonton, the main downtown core is sort of right in here. And then south of the river is what was known as Strathcona.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
So two different communities.
Town. Yeah.
And then they merged them, right? So you're going to see a little sampling from both sides of the river. I'll try to make the distinction as we move forward. But
and old Strathcona is quite a treasure trove of beautiful old buildings.
Yeah, some of the streets in here. And then even as you get into U of A, University of Alberta, I've got a little file on that I'll show as well. But
at the tail end of White Avenue there, right?
Yeah, by the river here, there's some nice park action going on along the riverbanks. And
yeah. The river valley itself is beautiful. I lived like 3 blocks from the river valley when I lived in Edmonton.
Yeah. It's the only place where like you're saying, you get a little bit of a slope. It's quite a embankment actually to get down from where most of these places are to the river.
Especially, let's say, from the Hotel McDonald down to the river.
Yeah.
They actually used to have one of those funiculars.
You'll see angled,
that. They had one of those there.
Definitely, yeah. Let me give you some demographics. I made this file. I did a video on Edmonton a couple of years back now, maybe 3 years now, actually, if not more. And this was after my visit to Edmonton. I put this file together. I think I was putting the file together while I was in Edmonton, actually. But anyway, the population demographics, it reads a lot like some of the places I've looked at in the States, like Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Similar narrative, but the whole oil boom and all the rest of it. Where you go 100 years, there's nobody, and modern day is up over 1 million, right? But you could see not a lot of growth here, really, up until you get past WW2, and then it starts to boomed quite a bit. But up until then, we're not talking a very large city at all. Like the city I live in is about 85,000 people, and it's by no means a large city. There's not a lot of architecture that jumps out at you. And what you're going to see that was built in this time period, really these first 4 decades where there's less than 60,000 people, is some pretty prominent architecture.
Yeah. Well, when I lived in Edmonton, it was about 15 years ago. And I think there was around 800,000 people there. And moving from Calgary, which had about 1.2 million at the time, maybe 1.3 million, I noticed the difference. First of all, I noticed that the downtown core was not as large, because in Calgary, I worked downtown, and in Edmonton, I transferred with the company I was working for. So I worked downtown as well. And I noticed that the downtown core in Edmonton is really compact.
Yeah, and a lot of nice old world there. I don't even think I caught it all in here. It's a decent sized file, but we'll roll through it.
It's surprising what's up there, because it's so far north, even not even by Canadian standards, but just worldwide. It's one of the northernmost capital cities in the realm. So we're told.
Certainly by Canadian standards, it's way up there compared to all the rest, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I started with the provincial administration building, saying they threw this one up in 1931. They still got that old school style, I guess, going on in 31. Nice looking building, though.
When I was up in Edmonton 2 summers ago, they were doing some renovations to that building.
I'm sure they were improving it.
The west end wall, the opposite of the face that we see, the short face there, was all scaffolded, and they had tarps there, and they were also doing some renovations on the grounds themselves. I was trying to get in there to see if I could get my camera in there to see if it went down lower, but they weren't letting me anywhere near that place.
Not surprised. You can see the tram lines, of course, everywhere, all over this city, you know.
Oh yeah,
this northern city. Yeah, they have a couple armories, actually. Here's one of them. I don't remember the name of this one, but it's supposedly, okay, it says 1913 on the front. Let me see here, 1913. And then you look it up and it says it was built 1914 to 1915, which confused me a little bit.
Give or take a year, give or take 1,000 years, give or take 1,000,000 years. It's fine.
Yeah. And then what is that, like by their narrative, 110 years old? And look how pristine the brick is. Like, it's perfect.
It looks like it was built last year.
Yep. So these
I like
these
the dogtooth style with the stacked brick there all along that sort of ridge line. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, very decorative, and of course the bands of stone they throw in these as well. It's
just a lot of extra bother for, you know, where it's basically essentially a military storage facility. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see maybe they were keeping the dirigibles, right? And so this is part of one of my theories that pops up. They had these big open areas in these armories.
Yeah, they call them the drill hall.
Yeah, right. They needed all that vertical space, I suppose. So the feats of engineering.
I'm with you on that. These were probably maybe not all armories, but ones that have this distinctive look, because this looks almost identical to the one in Calgary, the Mawada Armory. And I would say that this was repurposed as an armory, and it could very well have been a hangar or a maintenance barn, for lack of a better term, for dirigibles.
That's what I'm thinking they were. Yeah, maintenance barn's a good way to put that. Yeah.
Kwe Nitap, Old World Mi'kmaq is here.
So remember the timeline, right? I do have dates attached to a lot of these buildings, which will help bolster our claim that there's something wrong with the historical narrative. 1906, these are the types of structures they're putting up. Let me quickly go back. 06, 11,000 people living there, we're told.
Well, there was, what was it, 1870? There was 700 people.
Yeah, so a couple decades later, and this is what they were putting up, I guess. And columns everywhere. Columns must have been shipped in on the rail lines, I would assume, if we're to believe the narrative.
No, the fur trappers built those.
Did they? They
sure.
had a stone lathe.
Yeah, yeah.
Available on them.
He topped them, at the fort.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
And what would a northern town be without a brewery?
You got to pass those long, cold winter days somehow, bud.
The Molson Brewery. Yeah.
You might as well have a wobbly pop or two. And of course, it's Molson. Eh?
Yeah.
What else would it be?
I was looking these up too. These went up in no time. And look at the stack too. Got a little flare on the stack. It's not just a stack. It's it looks like something special. Vape pen, maybe. It looks like a vape pen.
It kind of does. It's a lot of bother for what supposedly is just going to be spewing smoke or steam out into the air. You know what I mean? Like, do you need to embellish it like that?
Yeah, if you're the guy on the scaffold working your way up and all of a sudden the work order changes and you get to this point and now all of a sudden you're stacking them this way and you got these special bricks coming up, the hoist, and you got to lay them a certain way and they got another band of decorative band and then you're going to taper in, then you're going to taper out. Anyway.
Yeah, wouldn't you be like, damn it.
Can't we just finish this off the way
I thought it was a week and I'd be done this thing.
Oh, no, it was.
These top 10 feet is going to take me the rest of the year.
It didn't slow them down when the details came. That's one thing we know about this research.
Oh, no, they just breezed through that like the plans never changed.
Unfazed. Yeah. They probably used some of those coal mine tunnels to store, so keep the beer cold.
Oh, for sure there, bud. That's the best place to chill your beer is an abandoned coal mine under the city. Just careful it doesn't collapse and crush your beers, eh?
The temperature would have been just right. The high level bridge, I think you might have shown this.
It was in the video. Yeah.
I like this visual because it's given us a little steam action, a little electric trolley action all in one.
Yeah, there's 3 tracks on the top of the bridge. The outer tracks were the trolley or the streetcar, whatever you want to call it. And the center track was used by CP Rail. Mm-hmm. And then the lower deck is cars and pedestrians. Mm. So it's pretty, they still run the old timey trolley across the high level bridge in the summertime on certain days of the week between certain times, just as a touristy kind of cutesy little thing. Yeah. And I did it, and it's pretty hair-raising. I mean, it's a beautiful view up there, but you feel like it could teeter over. There's really not much of a railing up there or anything, Yeah. It's a little off-putting, but it's a beautiful view because that bridge supposedly is, I don't know, something, it's like one of the highest in the world or in Canada of its kind, yada yada, that whole story.
It feels real cramped driving through there, that's for sure.
It is a very impressive height though, for sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just some street scenes. I like to throw in street scenes of, with the trolley cars and the buildings, the paint in what they want us to see and exclude what they don't want us to see in a lot of these postcards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just airbrush a bunch of stuff out before they, color it, which would have been done with, like watercolor almost, basically, is the technique that they would have used.
Yeah, admittedly so in a lot of the postcards. The photographs are the same, but they don't admit that about the photographs. But yeah, they're portraying a scene that they want people to see.
Yeah, it's part of the telling the narrative and pushing the official story, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Jasper Avenue, looking east. Interesting. You've got very wide streets, right? And you've got the brick buildings. You've got the concrete sidewalks, it looks to me. So very wide streets, dirt streets, they look to me, and concrete sidewalks. So they built the sidewalks before they paved the streets, I guess.
Sure, that's how you do it. You practice with a smaller surface, a sidewalk. And then once you got her licked, then you can say, oh, yeah, for sure, there. Now we can do it on the road.
Yeah. And these all would have been excavated, lower levels. It's hard to see when you zoom in, but you're getting hints of the old world here. just a montage of Edmonton. I think we'll see some of these moving forward. Some of them not, though. I'm not sure what some of them are. I think there's quite a bit that has faded into history without much evidence
What's
of them.
that crest in the middle? Is that like the Chamber of Commerce Edmonton crest or something? Or
Don't know. I can't make it out. Too grainy.
just says Edmonton,
Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chaff of wheat. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's not just coal and oil and fur. It's wheat. We'll add wheat to the narrative now too.
Yeah. Why not?
Jasper's kind of their main thoroughfare, by the way, folks, for the downtown. Actually, for the old downtown, it was Jasper. Now it's kind of like 100th or 101st, but Jasper was kind of the happening main high street back in the day.
Yeah, there's some nice buildings as you drive down there still, quite a bit. Yeah. Just up from the river. Oh, there it is. I had to show it too.
Yeah, it's so good. Rickety wooden fort with a crappy picket fence, and then look at that gloriousness in the background. Come on, man.
Yeah. All right, we'll see more of that.
Well, the money that they got from trading the pelts in that rickety wooden fort helped to build that there Capitol building.
Right. They got the stone from Ohio. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, because there's no stone in Alberta at all, even though Calgary's nickname is Sandstone City, because after the Great Fire, they started building all the buildings here in sandstone.
Yeah. Just a taste of some of the houses. These are nice. A couple of these.
Beautiful. Yeah, they're like estate homes, mansions. You got to have conical dome on your house. Why not?
We got to harness that ether.
Just all the time and money in the world, it seemed.
Imperial Bank of Canada in the foreground here with its prominent columns and heavy stonework down below.
Sure, because if you're a cowboy or a rancher or a coal miner, you want to put your money in nothing but the best. Some Greco-Roman inspired building with pediments and columns. Come on.
Man. That's how you know it's a bank with class.
Yeah.
That'll treat you right.
Yeah, it's not just Rudy's bank. No, this is a proper bank.
Yeah, they've dumped a lot of money into the building, so it's a good place to keep your money.
You know you can trust them because they got 4 pillars on the outside.
The Canadian National Railway. Thought I'd throw this one in there. Got, of course, the Union Jack splattered all over the place here.
Yeah, because, again, for those of you that don't know, Canada didn't really have an official flag until 1967, although we used what was called the Red Crest, which was a red flag that had the Canadian coat of arms in the middle of it for a little while. But basically, our flag was the Union Jack.
Got something over here, too. Not sure what that is, this building. You can see with the bricks and the arches and basement windows and detail going on. Just barely see it.
I'm not sure what that is either. Let us know in the chat or in the comments if you're a local. I'm thinking it might be a church because I don't know if that CN building is still there, to be honest with you.
I don't think it is. I think it's demolished, and that one probably is as well. If I'm recalling correctly. Oh, there it is. So there's the railway station, and there's the next door neighbor. School, almost, I want to say.
Yeah, it's either school or a church. Or at least what we're told they would designate as a school or church. You've got to have that look to get that designation.
I don't know if you guys are picking up a bit of raucous upstairs here. I hope it's not bothering anyone.
That's not too bad. It's fine.
Holiday
season. You've got a family, and it is the season, man. You gotta let the children's blow off some steam.
Yeah. First Presbyterian. Do I have the actual church? No, I don't. The Knox. It got a little confusing with the churches too, but we do have a nice pipe organ in the First Presbyterian Church.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big. Built in a little alcove there for it. The Knox Presbyterian. 07 again, so right around the same time as we saw another building built at that same. Remember, there's only, let me go back now, we got to keep this in mind, the population 12,000 people generously in 1907.
This was that pre-WW1 boom that they alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't occur again until after WW2.
Yeah. And remember
So you got to think there's a very small population in a very short amount of time knocking up not only a lot of buildings, but a lot of large buildings and a lot of highly decorated, embellished buildings.
Yeah, difficult buildings to build.
And again, you got to eliminate, 6 months conservatively for cold weather.
It just looks so strange too, with all the foreground being so muddy and ramshackle, and then you've got these basement windows. Clearly, there's a lower level here. You got an arch over here. It just doesn't match the surroundings, And why would you need to? Why would you need to build in the basement? Here's another one. Metropolitan Methodist went up the next year. You can see one back here, but looking very mudded, if you will, as far as the streets go. Like perhaps these were being discovered and dusted off, and maybe roof repairs or whatever it might be.
Yeah, they slap a new roof on it and replace any glass that's missing, and restructure and reformat the entranceways and change doors to windows and windows to doors, and there you go.
Maybe remove a little decoration.
That's why I think that they say that some of these have such short build times. I think that's the renovation and fixing up times. It took 2 years for them to fix it up or whatever, not 2 years to build. Again, I'm speculating, but
sure, yeah, no. Couple churches here, as you can see. No shortage of churches in Edmonton. Presbyterian now, 1913.
A lot of the old churches are still standing, actually. I did a boots on the ground walkabout tour of Edmonton when I was up there, not this past summer, but last year.
They're nestled in between all sorts of buildings and houses now, right? They're kind of lost in residential neighborhoods, a lot of them, I think.
Yeah, and in the old downtown and the old warehouse district, there's a bunch of old churches too, and they're sandwiched between skyscrapers or big 10-story condos and stuff downtown. That one there's a real beauty, though. That one we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and early too, right? 1899, right?
Yeah.
Our census data starts at 1901 here. So how many people were there in 1899? It is a beauty, and it's sort of, all by its lonesome with the mud.
Very embellished.
Lots of mud out front there, not fitting the architecture we're seeing. Yeah. Oh, I think I've jumped to another one. Oh, man. Some of these are a little bit all over the place. That's okay.
Churches are always confusing because you end up with 3 churches that have the same name.
Yeah.
In the case of Knox United Church, every city that I know of has got a Knox United Church. Calgary's got one. Edmonton's got one. Red Deer's got one. Vancouver's got one.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice looking interior, though. I'll keep moving forward. This St. Joseph. This is one of those strange reincarnations, is my guess. It feels like there's a bit of old in there, but it's been, modernized and maybe camouflaged. I don't know.
It may have been refaced or refacaded in that rough-hewn stone. And they also like to connect, like, let's say the vicar or the preacher or whatever lived in a little house next to the church. Well, then eventually they connect them, which is what might be that funky little bit that we see with the 3 arches there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's connecting the church to another older building, maybe an old stable building or whatever they tell us it used to be.
Sure.
They just join them all together and reface the whole thing. And it still has some of the hallmarks of Old World, but it looks funny.
Yep. It's funny too because it's built the same year as this guy. It's quite a difference in look there.
Yeah.
This is the St. Joseph's, and I remember driving by this one, and I kind of just slammed on the brakes, and I'm like, "Whoa,
Dad!"
And I looked it up. I think same day I saw it. I'm like, built in 1939. to 1947. They say interesting. Maybe, but it's a beauty for sure.
Is that Ukrainian Orthodox or Russian Orthodox Church?
Ukrainian Catholic?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's one in Calgary that looks similar to that, but it doesn't have those pillars in the front. It's got the big somatic window and a big arched entranceway instead.
It's one of those ones again that make me think: has there been some repurposing going on here? I don't know, but it's an interesting looking church for sure.
They
And
just went crazy with the domes. They just got silly with it. Like they just couldn't get enough domes on that thing.
did.
It's beautiful.
you could have got one more in here, maybe just on the ridge.
Yeah, come on.
Coulda
You
got
really pounded the pooch on that one, guys.
Yeah, a little construction photo for us. Always enjoy the construction photos.
Yeah, where the bottom is completely finished, but the top just has some scaffolding on top of it.
A little
We're just
overgrown.
building it up from the ground up. We finish everything as we go.
That tree's growing like a weed down there.
Yeah, that didn't get in our way when we were laying all these bricks in the lower floor. It's fine. Jeez.
That's the interior.
Oh, man.
Yeah. St. Joseph's. It's a cool looking church. Definitely one that'll catch your eye for sure.
Show me all the blueprints.
Yeah, right. This was one of the ones that really stuck out for me. The old courthouse, gone now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why it would be gone. Well, I mean, you can guess why, but you'd think it would be one that, I mean, you know, they took the time to put it in a postcard. You'd think they'd want to keep it around, but maybe they were having trouble explaining it after a while or something.
That's what I'm wondering, you know, like again, population demographics are paltry at best. This is when they're about to start the Capitol building. They're finishing up the courthouse, apparently. I don't know. And they tear it down 60 years later. There it is right there. 60-year-old building. I don't know.
It's a very unique looking building too, because not only the color, but normally, let's say the front entrance, you would see the columns or pillars with the big pediment, and then the side entrances would be fancy, but wouldn't have all of those columns in it. But it seems like all four entrances on all four sides of this thing are just one is just as fancy as the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a neat looking building for sure.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Edmund Chuck. Shame on you.
Yeah. Tore it
See the
down.
Hotel McDonald in the background there too.
Yeah, I was going to point it out. You can see it back here. Yeah. Before all the skyscrapers took over. There it is again.
Really low windows there on the bottom.
Yeah, definitely an excavation. Maybe they hit one of the coal mines. I like that, man. I can't believe you found that one. That's good.
I mean, I've heard them explain away tunnels as, smuggling Chinese workers, or the prohibition, or the Underground Railroad to get the freed slaves up to the northern states or up to Canada and blah, 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 blah. But, oh no, those tunnels that are below our downtown, yeah, those are former coal mines that we all forgot about. That was a new one on me.
Yeah, I see the brewery narrative quite a bit, actually. Like St. Louis is built over basically a whole tunnel complex, and all the breweries apparently were using the tunnels to store their beer. It's kind of interesting.
I don't doubt that, some of these older buildings, people, they change ownership of these, change hands over generations and generations. And fast forward to, 100 years later, what was a former whatever building is now, I don't know, some guy owns it and he's down in the basement. And what the hell's this behind here? And he discovers some spot and looks into it, and they say, oh yeah, they used to use that as cold storage, but it's actually part of an old underground tunnel system.
Yeah, they bring in the old historian, the laureate.
Yep.
And then they come in
laureate.
and they tell you what's what, and they look at you like, wow, they're actually buying this. Okay, we'll go with it.
Yep. I'll publish an article and that'll make it official.
Exactly. Here's the inclined railway. I think it's the one you were talking about.
Yep.
Operational for 3 years.
I know. All that work for 3 years.
Jeez, that's bad investment by the city.
I mean, we think they make bad investments now, but I guess they're not. I guess it's a trend that goes way back to the old Wild West days where they
Yep.
just had, I mean, it's these small populations, all these projects they're building at the same time, and they just wasting and throwing away money on something like this that only lasted 3 years. And they probably tell us it took 3 years to build it too.
Yeah, look at the building up here associated with it. Like, that's no slouch. All part of the package, I would assume. And then looking very overgrown surrounding it, you know, like I don't know. There's something about Edmonton that's got that. Not much is growing here. I said overgrown, but I guess I meant newly grown. You'll see it with the Capitol building too. Actually, I'll show you that here.
Yeah, a lot of like scrub brush type stuff.
Yeah, yeah. There's a nice look at the Capitol building with the old rail car in front.
Yeah, that's one of those sightseeing cars.
Yeah, I did a nice walk around the Capitol building when I was there, and get to touch the columns. I often get accused of not doing any boots in the ground. Just a picture guy, but you would know if you knew where I lived, you'd know why. But I did get to touch this building.
Oh yeah, I can see why you would. I spent hours when I was up. I was only up there for the day. I went up early in the morning. I got 11 a.m. and I caught the last bus out of Edmonton back to Calgary at 6:30 p.m. So I had 7.5 hours. I think I stopped for lunch at 3 for about half an hour, and that was it. And I spent probably almost half the day just filming the legislature building, just the outside too.
Yeah,
Because I didn't feel like messing with security guards and getting into that whole argument of you're allowed to film in a public building, and provincial legislature buildings are public, and I just didn't want the hassle.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yep. There's the old steam train. Oh, it's another building. Just happened to open it up in 2005. Remember, only 8,000 people or so living there at the time. Empire Block. 4 stories. Look like high ceiling stories to me.
Yep. Yeah, one of those. Oh yeah, we have 12-foot ceilings or whatever, 11-foot ceilings.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when we're seeing a building that has a 15-foot doorway and then it has 11 or 12-foot ceilings, the 11 or 12 feet between floors. I actually want to say that, let's say it's a 4-floor building. I actually want to say that perhaps there were people that were of taller stature and that was only a 2-floor building. And we came along and monkeyed around with the flooring and changed it from 2 floors to 4 floors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's possible.
And that's why you end up with more floors, but still really high ceilings in these old buildings. And really high rows of windows.
Yeah, it's possible. You never know. They're still all in the same several year period. All these churches are popping up all over the place.
Between 2005 and 2007, they're just whacking them up. You might get an 2003 or an 2008 in there, but supposedly a lot of overlapping big construction projects all going on at the same time.
It begs the question: how many brickies were in Edmonton at the turn of the century? How many people were available who had the expertise to do this kind of work? And obviously they're shipping in all these bricks, which apparently weren't economically viable to ship because, I guess they were doing it to develop the city, but there was other things they could ship that would get a lot more money from an economic standpoint.
I do remember reading that Edmonton had 1, if not 2 brick factories. But when I was up there, I was trying to find where it was or where it used to be so I could go and explore, and I couldn't find it, so I don't even know.
So did it exist at all, I guess is a question.
Right, like they say Calgary had one. It was called Brick Burn. Yeah, that's right. BRICKBURN, Brick Burn Factory.
Oh yeah.
But when you go to where Brick Burn Factory used to be, it's now a big city park and picnic area and with hiking trails. And of course, they have all the placards and signage up saying, oh, here's where they used to have the kilns, and here's where they loaded the railroad. And the train tracks are nearby. But
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it now, and there's not even a trace that there was a brick factory there. So I just kind of have my doubts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They had their version of the Flatiron building, the odd shape. And there's the Hotel McDonald in the background again. 1913.
That's a beauty of a hotel, man.
Yeah. This one, 1912, 1913, got Lieutenant Governor's residence. All in that same time period. 1914 again. So just drawing them all together in that same time period. Right. It's interesting too.
Ridiculous.
It seems to happen when I make a lot of my videos. They have them all squished into like a couple of years of construction. You know, like they're cramming it into something that just doesn't quite fit. I like this one. So we got the bridge under construction here. This is May 3rd, 1913. And I got the next one here, completed and in use June 19th, 1913. Pretty short turnaround there from construction to completion.
What was that again? Sorry.
This one is from May 3rd, 1913.
Right.
And this one is from June 19th, 1913. So we're about a month later, and it's already fully.
And it's already got a fully loaded steam locomotive too, not a streetcar.
That's right. Yeah, that's a pretty short turnaround. So thought I'd include that in here.
That's impossible!
Well, I don't know. But it sure is interesting.
That's that high level bridge, man. Like you could see that in that lower deck there, you've got enough room for 2 lanes of traffic, plus wide pedestrian sidewalk on either side. There's lights, there's guardrails, there's parts of the pedestrian walk portion that jut out, so you can it's like a little observation portion. And then, like I said, on the top deck there's 3 sets of tracks
Above here.
Yeah.
And this is what you drive through, this portion here now, and it feels so like you're going to hit something. You're going to hit the oncoming traffic side view mirror, you know, like it's tight.
Yeah. That's like the Center Street Bridge here in Calgary too, which has an upper and lower deck. All those lower decks are scary.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting one. The Holy Trinity Anglican Church, I believe it's in Strathcona, the south of the river. 1913 is the build date on it. They're using that interesting method of, what do they call that? Clinker bricks?
Yeah. The blown out bricks that they're calling clinker bricks.
I don't know. I don't know how they got that one to stick into mortar.
Now, I have seen clinker bricks.
Sure.
And let me tell you what a clinker brick is, okay? A clinker brick is, generally speaking, and I'm going to say 99% of the time, is the same shape and size as all the other bricks that have been fired.
Well, I mean,
It's,
how else are you going to build?
When we see a brick that's starting to melt and change shape and become deformed like that, that's no longer what they would term as a clinker brick.
Well, how did they put this part together? Was it just one big chunk that they set into a bed of mortar under here?
That just looks ridiculous. Clinker bricks are basically bricks that just are exposed to too much heat compared to the other bricks, because just like your oven at home or any other heat source, there's going to be hot spots and cold spots. And in these, especially the older kilns, you know, there were hot spots and cold spots in these kilns, and you would end up with bricks that got cooked more than others. They looked darker, they looked kind of scorched or almost shinier, almost like what's that term?
Obsidian, like glassy?
Sort of glassy, yeah. And the sound comes from, because when you clink bricks together, they have a distinct sound, and these clinker bricks have a different sound. It's sort of a higher pitched, tinnier sound because they've had more of the moisture cooked out of them.
Mhm.
but they don't start to kind of really balloon out the way that what we're seeing here seems to. Clinker bricks tend to hold the shape of the brick. They may get slightly deformed, but not like this. This is something else.
I'd say that's his foobarred completely. Yeah. This, I don't know. It's interesting. It's a church built in 1913.
My granddaddy used to work at a brickyard.
Hmm.
He was a farmer, but in the winters he worked in a brickyard. And I wish I talked to him more about stuff that he did when he was a young man, but I was a really young guy, so I didn't have the perspective, let's say, that I do now. Hindsight being 2020, I wish I could go back and pick his brain about some of this stuff. But I do remember him talking about a lot of this sort of thing because I hung out with my granddaddy quite a bit as a kid.
Yeah.
Kathy's asking, could they be hollow? They're not hollow, but they almost sound like they're hollow because they've been so cooked. But then beyond that, bricks will melt if they're exposed to too much heat for way too long of a time. They actually do melt, like, candle wax looking type melting. But a clinker brick doesn't look melted. It looks basically the same as a regular brick, except for its color, and it sounds weird when you tap it against another brick.
There's some meltage going on there, yeah. Anyway, I'll keep moving forward. We'll get the General Hospital.
Funny looking, though. It's definitely anomalous.
It is. It's odd. It's odd for sure. And I think I drove by it, and that's probably what caught my eye. And then I did some research to find it. It's one of those things you probably wouldn't even find in a search if you weren't looking for it.
They like to pass that off as, that was a trend back in the, whatever, 19 teens or whatever.
Imagine being the bricklayer with that as part of the plan. Come on, how am I supposed to lay the next row?
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? I like stuff to be straight and plumb and level. What are you doing to me, bud?
I got to chip this little one away so it fits in there, and then I got to...
You think I got a jig for this, you a-hole?
Exactly.
What a nightmare.
General Hospital, great show. Terrible.
Yeah, you cut it out.
Couple hospitals, Misericordia. I think this is what we saw, and there was a postcard I showed earlier, and this was in there. The Misericordia Hospital was eventually torn down, as you can see. Beautiful looking mansard style roof on that. Very well put together. 06 again, all in the same timeline as pretty much everything else we've seen, give or take a few years. They were in a hurry.
Sort of turret style at the one end, and that's got the mansard style on it too. I mean, because that's super simple.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sheesh. It's a beauty, though.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it's missing something on the other end.
Yeah, asymmetrical.
It looks like it should have had another one of those turret, for lack of a better word, turret style on the other end too, and it doesn't, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. And who knows why and if it ever did, but yeah, this is another General Hospital, I guess. I don't think it's the same one I just showed. It's definitely not this one.
No, it's not that one. That cupola is something else.
Kind of has a Capitol building / Jehoshaphat church look to it with all the domes, the church I showed. Yeah. The Alberta Hotel, 1903. They had to build this sucker.
Gotta put a conical dome on there just for shits and giggles, I guess.
Yeah, and all sorts of beautiful stone and brickwork going on here. And then the basement, of course, action. It looks like plywood over the corner here at this point.
Yeah.
Basement windows. You got them fenced off here. Classic indications of why in the hell would they build a hotel like this in 1903?
Look how you're falling there, dumbass. We better put a fence around it. Like,
what are you doing? Put the windows below grade. What are you doing?
Now I got to call the fence guy to put a little railing around it. Thanks a lot.
Add-ons at the end of the project. Yeah. I just threw this one in. I don't know if there's much old world to it or if there was, but it's the Corona Hotel. I think it's gone now. So Bit of an Art Deco feel going on.
Yeah, it has an Art Deco feel to it for sure.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not there anymore.
Mhm.
I don't recognize it anyway.
I think I included this one in the file because that was 3 years ago, and that word was being tossed around quite a bit back then. Corona. King Edward Hotel, 1904. I don't know if this one still stands. Oh man,
Pretty much every Canadian city had a King Edward Hotel too.
Nice little corner cupola there as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then corner balconies continued all the way down structurally to the front entrance. Yeah. Again, take note of the date, the year when all of these were springing up. Can you envision Edmonton in 1903, 1904, 1906? All of this construction going up and no one thought to take a picture.
Yeah, it must have been madness, but nobody got frustrated enough to, run home and grab their camera and take a photo of it, and I don't know, write an angry letter to the editor of the local newspaper. Like, look at this chaos in here, man. Like, I can't turn a corner without another street closed temporarily because they're building some building. I'm trying to get to work, man.
Where are these historians documenting the development of this great northern city?
Yeah, where are the what was that lady? What did she refer to herself as? The
laureate.
Laureate, that's it.
A laureate historian.
Where's all the laureate historians that are shutterbugs? And don't tell me that people didn't have cameras in 1904. Cameras were readily available at the Hudson's Bay, at Eaton's, at a five and dime store.
That's always one of the comebacks you get, isn't it?
Hell, I've got 3 cameras from that time period in my collection.
Hotel McDonald, we've spoken of it a few times. We covered it in our Railway Hotels of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just have one of this. I could have gone in depth on this, but it's just right in and around the Capitol building complex as well.
Looking like some Bavarian castle or something.
Massive too. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a big beauty.
This is
she's
where
right on that, perched on that hill. The funicular is behind it, or was, and then you could see the river valley behind there.
That's right. This is where the dignitaries and government officials would stay there if anything's being held internationally.
Yeah. When King Chuck comes to Canada land from England, that's where he would stay if he went to Edmonton. Yeah. That's right. They actually have a couple of outdoor terraces at the back where they serve tea and all that.
Overlooking
and it overlooks the river. It's quite nice. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Hudson's Bay Company, we've mentioned it many times already. So here's the building that was in use early on.
Yeah, that was their second. The first was the wooden rickety fort in front of the legislature.
Yes. They finally got their ass together and put some bricks, stacked a few bricks, eh?
Then they went to this, and then they went to one that's a little bit further into downtown that's clad in like white marble or something, marble tiles or something.
Is it? I wonder if it's this one that they clad in. This was brick. There's another one.
No, because those are still there. It's a completely different building, a couple of blocks from these. I think it was built in I want to say in the 40s or 50s. So it's kind of brutalist style. It's not lovely like these ones are.
Even this one is interesting. We're looking at probably in the 30s with the cars up front, if I were to guess, maybe
20s or 30s. Yeah.
Looking like it's been modernized up here. They still have a bit of the mansard with the dormers, but something here looks like it's been modernized from what it may have been previously. Just speculating, but
yeah, they may have refaced it with, I don't know, like the crappy sheet metal and changed the style of the dormers on it, maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. It's all speculation, of course, but yeah, here it is, the Parliament building. I thought I had the timeline on here. I think it's a 4-year, 5-year build time on this one.
Which is ridiculous.
It's an interesting building, isn't it? And when you walk around it, you've got this wing coming off the back. Like the front face of it from downtown is on the back side of what we're looking at now. We're looking at the back of it. And it's got it's 3 wings, I believe.
Yes.
And this one's got the sort of circular dome up above it as well. It's a large structure, and it's an interesting shape. It's something that definitely draws you in when you're in the area.
Yeah, it's sort of shaped like a T, and then
Mhm.
it's got the big main cupola with the dome right in the center of the basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
the
it's
front.
got smaller domes on each of the flanking wings.
Yeah, 3 wings flanking. And we were talking earlier about the tunnels. So if you walk around the front area here, I believe it's probably a little further out behind the trees there. There's like a glass domed portion that you can look down at the tunnels that connect this building and the adjacent buildings. So I guess it saves them from walking out into the cold in the colder months if you're going from, let's say, the legislature to one of the adjacent government buildings.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're all connected by tunnels, and some of them we're told are the quote unquote original tunnels from when these were built,
Mhm.
and then some of them are newer tunnels that were built, in the 70s and in the 90s,
Yeah.
and then some of them connect, of course, the train as it enters underground
Mhm.
here and becomes a subway for a couple of blocks here.
It
They
gets
they all connect to that too.
a little bit murky, all of those renovations and restorations and additions. And
Well, yeah, exactly, because then it becomes, well, what's older and what's newer, and they might tell us this is new, but maybe they just renovated an older tunnel, and oh, I don't know, we just built it.
hmm hmm yeah, there it is up on the hill. And this is one of my favorites, actually, from this building. Really showing the isolation of the building itself. Foreground looking. This whole photograph has a mudded feel to me, like it's been discovered. And
Yeah, because you look at the front grounds, there's no landscaping. I mean, to this day, there's water features in the front and trees and gardens, and then on either side of the left and right wings, there's gardens and trees, and then at the back, there's a whole park.
yeah, it
And
looks
these trees all look freshly planted, like they found this thing, fixed it up, and so we better plant some trees here, bud, if we're going to be claiming this as our Capitol building.
yeah, and now it's quite a treed area, I believe, the park itself, really massive
Yeah.
tree.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And it just looks a bit derelict in this photo, which I thought's interesting. I like this one too. I mentioned Ohio. So this is supposedly the McDermott buff sandstone that was used from McDermott Stone Company in McDermott, Ohio. Supposedly a photograph of construction, I suppose. I don't know. I'm thinking that they just scrubbed out the top portion of the dome
Yeah,
here.
they just cut it off. I mean, look at the other dome on the left-hand side. You could see that there's an antenna or a piece of tech sticking out of it. So
So they got that all wrapped up and decided to shift focus, I guess.
yeah, it's stupid. And the other thing too, again, is that the railroad has barely come in at this time when we're told they're building this thing.
Yeah.
And they've decided that they're going to ship the stone to build this from Ohio to Edmonton, Alberta.
Mhm.
So it's going to have to come by rail because Alberta is a landlocked province.
Mhm.
We have no way of getting to the Great Lakes or anything here in Alberta. So forget that.
Yeah.
So it's got to come by rail.
Mhm.
So they're shipping this stone from Ohio all the way up here when you can't swing a dead gopher without hitting a sandstone quarry here in Alberta, even to this day.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Ohio had better sandstone, apparently. And the scaffolding looks so shitty too, Like maybe they're refacading the pediments up here. Maybe they're changing. Who knows?
That just looks like a fudged photo.
Yeah, I agree. I'll keep rolling on though. We won't dwell on it too long. It's probably worthy of dwelling on, but we have the Le Marchand apartments here, built in 1912. Again,
Yeah, those places are beautiful.
all in the same timeline. Once again, right? All within 15 years of each other, let's say. Pretty much.
And this was built as an apartment building, is the story on this.
Looks like it. Le Marchand apartment house. Yeah. Yeah. And the surrounding area, again, looking a little less. I mean, you can tell in the modern photo, everything's been developed, but, you young. All these trees look like they're newly planted. They've got the supporting sticks.
Yeah, exactly. They're still saplings, for want of a better term.
Yeah. The old public library, funded by old Mr. Carnegie. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Of course.
It only lasted 44 years, this one.
Yeah, I looked for it when I was up there, and I realized when I did a quick online search that it was gone. And I was like, oh, well, no wonder I can't find a darn thing.
It looks like it's next to the McDonald's.
Yeah, it's like a block away from it. And now it's, I think it's a modern, quote unquote, modern, like built in the 70s office building.
Yeah, Carnegie. I believe this is an entrance to the library. Free to all. Well, making knowledge available for free, Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah, but it's selected knowledge.
Of course. You're free to do what we tell you, to read what we tell you.
Yeah, you're free to read anything in this library.
It's like Netflix. People say, Netflix has everything. It's got to be. If it's not on Netflix, it's not worth watching. that used to be a mantra I used to hear.
Yeah. Now it's starting to get to be the other way around. What? It's on Netflix? I ain't watching that.
Yeah, these things come full circle, don't they? Yeah.
Life is like a circle.
The Strathcona Library, down in the south of the river, Strathcona.
Yeah, and that's not, this one is not, from what I understand, not a Carnegie.
No, and this one still stands. A bit of a grainy photo, but there it is, still standing.
This one, I think, was built by the town of Strathcona, or was it ever a city? I think it was only ever a town, right?
I'm not sure. Yep. The McGrath Mansion with some nice columns.
Look at that place, very reminiscent of a southern plantation.
Yeah, and the nice.
I say we'll sit on the front veranda. I say, and we'll have some sweet tea, boy.
Tea. That's right. Yeah.
Maybe some of grandmother's peach lemonade.
I'm just gonna let the dog in. He's barking here. You can take a gander at the Freemasons Hall.
Yeah, well, of course, that's how they were whacking up all these buildings in 1906, 07, 08. Apparently dozens of projects at the same time. Well, they had the Freemasons right there, bud. Aren't those guys brick and stone experts? So we're told.
Tradesmen. True.
Yeah. So if the hall's right there, then these are the guys that did it. Problem solved, bud. We broke the mystery.
Kind of built a bit like a cathedral, because they just had those skills.
Yeah, this place is super fancy. I did some boots on the ground of this place for sure. It's the front end of it for sure. With all of this embellishment, it does look very churchy.
Yeah. McLeod Building, 1915. It's pretty decorative.
It's beautiful.
Nice to look at.
I think that still stands.
Yeah.
The top, I think, are glazed terracotta tiles that run all along the top of that thing in like green and yellow. If this is the building I'm thinking of, it's absolutely beautiful.
They just had so much taste.
Again, just a lot of time and bother,
Yeah. The RCMP barracks had to build it like a castle.
Sure. Well, you got to lay down the law, so you got to look formidable.
Check out the old paddy wagon out front.
Hey, that's a racial slur against Irish people, calling it a paddy wagon.
Well, I'm half Irish.
Oh, okay. So it's okay then.
I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a beauty inlay of the stone with the brick.
Yeah, it's interesting.
On that and on the one, the fire hall too.
Fire hall, cut from the same cloth, I suppose. That's probably the fire hall number there, but again, you're getting the horse and buggy and the beautiful brick buildings, and it just seems the means of transportation, the mode of transportation at the time doesn't match the architecture. that was available to the people. It's one of the big red flags in this field of research, I think.
The even the automobiles back then were they were pretty rugged, but I was talking about this on my live stream last night on my channel. I was talking about, and I was showing old pictures of Canadian winters, sort of from coast to coast, a couple from each major city, St. John's and Saskatoon and Vancouver, and then up north and, Yellowknife and whatnot. And in the wintertime, a lot of people, before the automobile, a lot of people would use, horse and buggy or horse and cart in the summer or spring, summer, and fall. But once snow hit, a lot of people had a sleigh and they would use the horse-drawn sleigh. But once the automobile came around, those things were pretty rugged, but in the winter and then in the early spring with all that mud, those things would get stuck. Whereas a sleigh, you would just cruise, man.
Yeah.
So these quote-unquote modern technology in the 19 teens and 20s with the internal combustion engine and cars and trucks supposedly helping on construction sites, they weren't much of a help, again, when the weather was bad. You couldn't really use these heavy trucks on job sites from, again, November through to like April or May.
Yeah, I'd say the weather was bad more than it wasn't,
In the winter, again, you could use something on skids or skis like a sleigh, but you get those spoked wheels with those skinny rubber tires on those old Fords and whatever.
Yep.
The snow just accumulates and gets all caught in the wheels and stuff, and it's just a nightmare.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, we're looking at a couple. We've seen these two. We'll get the post office coming up shortly. There's the old post office. We'll skip to it shortly. Throw another one at you from 1910, the permanent building. Nice looking structure. Very decorative.
That's a beauty.
Probably not permanent. And there we have the post office in the background. The Imperial Bank. I think we saw this one earlier. But the post office is no longer with us.
No.
1910.
They love to knock down the old post offices.
Only 62 years old. My house is older than this.
It's ridiculous, right?
When they got rid of it. Yeah. It's a beauty.
Yeah. I love the gingerbreading around the edges of the tower there. It's sort of a coining effect there.
And then you got some circular openings. Was that a bell tower? Makes you wonder. Why put this on a post office?
Yeah, exactly. What is it, an observation deck? It's not a fire hall.
You
know what I mean? Maybe airmail, dirigibles. We're delivering mail.
Yep. And then down on the
they could moor up to the top of the tower,
Yeah, you never know, right? The south side of the river had its own post office. This one still stands. Looks like it's maybe used as a Italian restaurant. Chianti.
Oh yeah, Chianti's. Yeah.
Chianti's.
Yeah. It's an Italian place. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep, I bet.
We used to have one in Calgary. It burnt down.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even joking, and it was
no, I believe
building
you.
Too. It was in an old brick and sandstone building that supposedly that was one of the laws after the Great Calgary Fire is we've got to make these buildings fireproof. Got to start building all these larger buildings, 2 stories or public buildings out of brick and or sandstone so they don't burn down. And then this one burnt down anyway.
Yep. So they had 2 post offices, one for the north side of the river, one for the south side of the river. There's the post office once more. And we'll keep moving. The Salvation Army Citadel, built in 1925, extensively remodeled in the 70s, probably unrecognizable. Interesting.
Yeah, it still stands. I checked this one out on my boots when I was up there. It does look a little different, but it still has that funny little off-centered, that little thing right there.
Yeah,
it
that's
has
interesting.
that.
Almost looks like we've got some bulgy bricks going on here too. Hard to tell in the photo, but
maybe. It does have some what look like they were told are like clinker bricks and stuff on it. Yeah, it's a interesting looking place.
Well, we'll get into a whole slew of schools. Actually, before we do, let me show you the University of Alberta real quick here. So I'll just get some structures from the university. Let me show everybody where the university is in Edmonton as well. I mentioned it earlier. University of Alberta grounds on the south side of the river, sort of right in here. You can see University of Alberta. They extend quite far now, all up into here. But we're looking at basically this area here. So Strathcona, you can see here. There's the old town of Strathcona, south of the river. And let's just look at some of the structures at the University of Alberta. Again, timelines. Let's take note of the timeline. How many brickies were living in Edmonton? Let's look at the population demographics one more time. 25,000 people living there in 1911.
And this is what, the fifth 1911 project we've seen in your file?
Probably.
And then there was a bunch of 07. There was a few of 08. There was a couple of 06.
Yeah, they're all in the
a
same.
lot of these are going to overlap by what we're told anyway.
Oh, definitely.
Which makes it even more ridiculous.
It does. It does. Yeah. The Assiniboia Hall and Assiniboia. I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah, Assiniboia. That's right.
Okay.
That's what Saskatchewan used to be called.
The Arts Building. Highly decorative. Because it's the Arts Building, I suppose.
Wonder why they didn't do it in Beaux-Arts style.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of cowboys. Cut us some slack.
Yeah, we just simplify. Oh, a normal school. The Corbett Hall was once a normal school. Is now the Corbett Hall, or was, I'm not sure. Probably still stands. A lot of these are nestled in between the massive modern buildings of the current University of Alberta in Edmonton now.
Yeah.
Big glass buildings and medical this and that. But some of these are still sort of sandwiched in between those. You get a lot of old and new. Normal schools, of course, they had to teach the teachers what to teach the kids in the normal schools.
Yeah, that's where the teachers learned the curriculum.
That's right. Everyone
and
had
the
to
method
be
of teaching, so that everything was streamlined and.
Yeah, what do they call that? Prussian style. Sit in your desk and yeah. Anyway, Alberta College.
Yeah, that's a beauty. It's not huge, but it's really embellished.
Got a bit of flair to it, looking like it's been sided. But all of this on the one university grounds, keep in mind too. And very early, especially in a town that got what, 10,000 people living there at the time. Yeah.
They actually have cannons parked outside of that one, that Alberta College.
They do.
Yeah, a couple of cannons. What the?
Maybe
they got some serious learning to do in here.
Yeah. Keep away unless you're on the class list. If you're not in the class list, get the hell out of here. Right. University Hospital, nice looking stack there. Actually, nice bit of flair on that stack. Looking
always, it's ridiculous.
Octagonal, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, they weren't simple buildings. Everything's got a little bit of the Edmonton Jesuit College. Well, there you go.
Bum, bum, bum.
These guys got everywhere. It's crazy how these guys just got around.
Yeah, they started out east in Montreal and they made their way west pretty fast. They started a French-Canadian Catholic Jesuit mission here in Calgary before Calgary was Calgary. I suppose it was just the fort and the Mounties were out here trading with the indigenous peoples and protecting the fur trade.
So they got in early.
All of a sudden, they showed up here.
Yeah.
And one of the old buildings still stand. It's called Rouleauville. It's just south of 17th Avenue, southwest here in Calgary. It's a crazy story.
They got everywhere nice and early, right with the fur traders.
Yeah.
They were on the...
Well, they had to convert the wild, savage Native Indians, supposedly. What's going on here?
Two different buildings, Pembina Hall, Athabasca Hall. Not much difference, though. Interesting. Yeah, going back and forth. When I was looking down at the thumbnails below, I thought it was the same picture. And then I realized they're two different buildings, but very similar.
Probably the same architect. You know, that guy that won the contest?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it's all of them.
Yeah. The old Rutherford Library.
Too bad that's gone.
All of this is all part of the campus now, keep in mind. The Trio Hall is part of that zigzagging brickwork, kind of what we saw earlier on the tower, Salvation Army Tower.
Yeah, that's a beautiful detail.
A little bit of herringbone above the windows, filled in.
So much extra work. It's as if they had all the time, like they're just, whistle while I work and just da da da.
Yeah.
And meanwhile they tell us, oh, we got it up in 2 years or a year. Get out of here.
Meanwhile, they're on a rickety old wooden plank that's ready to snap at any second.
With loads of bricks and mortar sitting up on there.
You're mixing the mortar. It's minus 20.
Yeah.
Keeping the water in a state where you can mix the mortar. It's just, yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. Yeah. Cairo says, they were just bored. They were bored.
Yeah. Apparently the new medical facility, new medical building, opposed to the old one, I suppose.
Beauty.
Mm-hmm. And we saw the arts building earlier, but it's a nice one. Got some columns, some pediments, and some lower. Wow, that's good.
Embellishment along the top there too,
Yeah, quite a lot to throw into a single university. If you're building all this for a university, how rapidly is it expanding the university itself in a city that's got 10,000, 20,000 people? It's interesting. All right, so that's the big school. Let's go to the slew of schools I discovered in my research, and it'll probably take us to the end of the file. This one blew me away too. I remember driving by several of these schools thinking, holy. This one is demolished. Don't know when. I have a date of 1910 on the photograph. So would have to predate the build, of course.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Right. They needed to
separate those entrance, of course. That's how we used to do it back in the day for some reason.
Yep. Nice looking school, though. Everyone's out front posed. Here's the Alexander Taylor School, built in 07. Remember, all these dates keep overlapping. College Avenue School, built in 1895. Nice and early.
Wow. Yeah, super early.
Demolished.
Very interesting looking building.
Yeah, long gone. 1918, they got rid of it.
A lot of complicated angles on that thing.
Yeah, and 1895, and they felt the need to excavate, apparently.
Yeah, and so 1895 until 1918, they tore it down?
That's what it says, yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. A lot of these I got from the Edmonton education website as well. So it's part of their documenting, and it gets quite absurd as you scroll through it.
What was going through their heads? Well, this thing's been up not even 20 years. Time to knock her down, boys.
Yeah.
I mean, we can guess what was going through their heads, but what would they tell us is the legitimate reason, we needed to build a larger building on this spot, so we knocked this one down and then just built a newer, larger building. You couldn't just add on to this one?
Well, that's a funny thing too about Edmonton. You can just go out. You don't have to build up because there's a lot of land creeping out further and further.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They're not really hemmed in by anything except for the river to the south.
Yeah. You go one way or the other depending on what side of the river you're on, but it's just flat as a pancake. Yeah. The Dugan School. Don't have much info on that. But again,
pretty big
and well built and complicated. The arches, and you get throwing a dormer up here in the roof. It's a lot for an early school. It's a lot. The Grandin School, 1902. They built this one.
Looks like the one we just looked at almost. Just mirror image of.
Similar, and looking like it's got some sandstone maybe.
Yeah, some kind of stone instead of brick. Looks like, yeah.
Lots of kids. Lots of kids.
Pack them in like sardines for the indoctrination sessions.
That's right. The Highland Grade School, there again, we have boys and girls entrances. Built in 1913. How many? That's got to be close to 10 buildings we've seen with that 1913 date attached to it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the beauty of it. How much you want to bet it was more embellished at the top at one point, even before this?
Yeah, there's definitely like a flattening that's gone on here.
Like those towers look like they should have come to a point at the top or something. You know what I mean? They should have some spires or conical domes or something.
Yeah, some immense.
That's already been monkeyed with.
Yeah, they flattened a lot of these off, I think, for sure. We got poor horse and buggy here in the foreground, taking a breather.
Well, after dropping off all them kids, it's a lot of work.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. McKay Avenue School built 1904. Same years keep popping up. Not nothing. It's a serious build. You got columns in the front here, 1904.
Big, huge arched entranceway.
One more time, 1904. How many people are living in Edmonton? How many people? Why are you built? I always envisioned turn of the century schoolhouses as like single room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like on Little House on the Prairie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the one room schoolhouse my dad actually went to, which was in a little rural farming town.
Yeah.
And it was literally a one room schoolhouse with a potbelly cast iron stove in the corner to heat the place. Mm-hmm. And grades 1 through I think 7 were all in that one room.
Mm-hmm.
With one teacher.
Yeah, certainly not a multi-storied.
You wouldn't expect this.
With a basement with columns. Not at all.
And that dog out front. Can I pet that dog?
Looks like a nice doggy.
Yeah, it looks like a golden lab.
Yeah.
That's a good boy.
There it is again. McKay, I think it's the same one. Oh, wait, maybe not. Okay, and this is another case of how they add on to it. Right? So I think a lot of these old ones are giving us a false image of the past. I just very difficult to add a wing to a building without there being any visible evidence that they've done so.
Yeah, no sort of line of delineation.
Yeah, very difficult to tie those together and have them all function as a single building. So that's what makes me doubt those.
They did that with Central Memorial High School here in Calgary, but you can tell where it was actually a separate building for boys and a separate building for girls. And they were, 50 yards apart. And they eventually joined them together with a central structure between the two of them. Mm-hmm. And they did a pretty nice job of marrying, but you can tell where one ended and the other began in terms of that section. And it wasn't much later on, according to the narrative. I think the two buildings, the boys and girls, were built in the early teens, and then they were joined together in the early 20s or something like that. So it wasn't like, 4 or 5 decades had passed, but you could still tell, because you're right, they can't quite replicate what was pre-existing, it seems.
Yeah, and then they'll just look to unified as a single structure, which makes me question these ones. One instance that sticks out at me is the Capitol building in Idaho, which you'll see a lot of that. And a lot of them will be like, okay, we added the wings later. I'm pretty skeptical that I think it was all built at the same time. I don't know. A bit of trickery. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me digging too deep into something, but.
No, I think you might be onto something there.
The Norwood Public School, 1909. This one still stands. There it is in the modern day.
Yeah, I think I visited this one too.
Well built, though. Very well built.
Yeah. The stone on the lower level, which is a phony foundation, it's not an actual stone foundation, but they're different sized and different colored stones. It's actually quite lovely.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. Yeah. And that makes sense because they tapered it out, right, and stacked them in there, and yeah.
Yeah, they're not like a foot thick, those stones. They're basically like a tile stone. It's like 6 or
Yeah.
8 inches thick. It's still pretty substantial, but it's
Yeah.
basically just applied around the bottom.
Yeah, veneer.
Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. Oliver School. I have 1910 as a date attached to this. I like this with the farmers plowing right outside.
Yeah, they're going to plow the field right in front.
Well, maybe the kids have an agriculture class and they're learning about how to plant the crops.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, you got to love how it's. Here's our school. What are those two farmers doing plowing there? Oh, no, don't worry about that. The school just happened to be built next to a farm. That's a country school. Just a simple country school.
Yeah. The Parkdale School. And many schools. It's pretty amazing how many schools.
There's so many schools for this small town or small city at this time period. It's crazy.
Queens Avenue.
Like, what were they teaching in all these schools? How to build schools?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, this one lasted 40-some years. Built in 1902, and there were very few people living there, apparently.
Come on, man. They knocked that down 47 years after they built it.
That looks pretty nice and decorative here.
It's beautiful.
I'm sure
it's not huge, but it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure it'd be standing proud in the modern day if they didn't touch it. Yeah. This was a residential school from 1900, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of those across Canada, especially in the prairies.
Talk about trying to reset a people.
Yeah, those of you that are not familiar, residential schools were schools for Native Canadians, Indigenous First Nations. They basically tear the kids off of the reservations after forcing everybody onto reservations. And they would ship these kids, in many cases, hundreds of miles away to these live-in residential schools out in the middle of nowhere. They'd cut their hair short, and they weren't allowed to sing their Indigenous songs, speak in their native tongues, play their traditional games, and they separated family members too. So if you had a cousin that went to that school and they found out you were cousins from the same band or tribe, they'd ship one of you off to a different school.
Yeah, just a few more schools to round up my file. Again, the dates just keep popping out at me. 1911, 1913, King Edward School.
Building so many schools in this short time period. It's great. And big schools too.
Big
A
schools.
lot of these are huge.
Multi-storied with basements and some sort of tower. Highland School, even a different one. Date built.
Like even today, that would be a 5-year project, or at least a 3-year project, even today.
No doubt. No question about it. These are big undertakings for sure. What else do we have? The Westmount School. They look very similar as well, but there's so many of them. That's kind of what got me. Still operates as a junior high. A bit of a cathedral look going on here with the windows.
Yeah.
Central area. A couple towers on the side. And also the foregrounds too. Everything looking like they're just a bit derelict. The whole area looks a bit derelict. And
it's just sort of a lumpy, grassy, and not even manicured lawn grass here. I'm just talking like wild grass and weeds and sagebrush. And,
like if there was a major event, maybe it didn't happen so long ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Strathcona School, 1908. Nice little dome on the front here.
That's a pretty big fancy one for Strathcona for that time period. Because again, remember, Strathcona was a separate town at this point.
And again, the basement windows. And then my last one is the Tegler Block. 2-year build time on this, 1911 to 1913. You got some columns going on way up top there. Interesting area.
Yeah, where you got to crane your neck to appreciate them. It's so ridiculous. 2-year build on that, eh?
Wow. And then demolished in 1982. That concludes my file.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
That was outstanding.
Yeah, a lot to offer, Edmonton, especially for such a young city, according to our narrative.
Yeah, well, And the thing is, a lot of them are still standing, and I've seen them myself firsthand. But there's so many that, you know, you had said, oh, it was torn down in 67 or 1974, or torn down 8 years after it was built, you know, built in 1902 and torn down in 1911 or whatever.
Yep.
But I mean, I guess it's like your books, right? There's just, it's surprising how many beautiful old structures that for whatever reason, whatever justification they give normies to, that they just couldn't be bothered to preserve it, they could somehow justify tearing them down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
A lot of times
mind-boggling.
it sparks the conservation movement, the demolition of like a major structure in a city. People were just had enough of an uproar was created because of the demolition that they end up creating the preservationist movement, right?
Yeah, but then the preservationist movement and the historians, they're on board with the official narrative too, so they're just as likely to, you know, back up the engineers that say, oh, this has become structurally unsound or unstable because, I don't know, there's coal mines under it, or whatever stupid thing they would say for Edmonton, right?
Yeah, I know. Like,
then the historians and the preservation societies they'd have no choice but to kind of throw their hands up and go, oh, well, you know, the engineers say that it's unsafe, so, you know, and it's going to cost 80 million to make it safe, so we can't do it, so we got to knock it down. And meanwhile, it was fine. It's already been standing for what we're told is 130 years, but could conceivably be much longer than that, you know.
That's right.
But all of a sudden it's unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ridiculous. So there you go, everyone. CANUCKLEHEADS, episode 18. Edmonton, the capital of here in Alberta. Right in the gateway to the New West here in Alberta.
Mm-hmm. The Great White North.
That's right. And Edmonton is Edmonton. I mean, Calgarians tease Edmonton a lot, but I've been up there many times, and as mentioned, I lived up there for a few years, and I like Edmonton. The winters are rough. Mm-hmm. They don't get the little warm spells that we get here in Calgary and in southern Alberta.
They get the prairie winds.
Yeah, that it won't. You know, it doesn't go above zero very often. 0 Celsius in Edmonton during the winter. So the winters can be long and pretty hard, and they just literally run out of places to cart the snow away, so they end up just kind of piling it in parking lots, or a four lane street. They'll pile it up in the middle, so it turns it into just 2-lane streets.
Yep.
For a while, stuff like that, right? And it's just it's relentless. But spring comes a little earlier in Edmonton because they're further away from the mountains. So they get sort of a April showers bring May flowers type of thing, whereas Calgary, it's more like June showers bring July flowers.
Yeah, that's like a here. Yeah,
like they start their spring in April up there, or maybe early May, whereas here it's late May in Calgary. We're kind of a month behind with our spring. So and their summers up in Edmonton are quite lovely. They're a little more humid than Calgary because there's a lot of lakes there. Yeah. Up near Edmonton. So you get the big massive mosquitoes like they do in Winnipeg. Yeah. Mosquitoes the size of dragonflies. It's scary. Yeah. But Edmonton, you know, everybody in Alberta teases Edmonton, especially Calgary, but Edmonton's a wonderful place. And you could even see from your file from the old buildings that it was once even more glorious than it still is. And I'm glad there's so many that are still standing, like the Hotel McDonald and the old prison that's up there, and some of the old hospitals and schools and churches. And a lot of the old warehouse district is still there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Michelle Gibson singled out Edmonton as a major nodal point in her research.
Yeah, I think it's on a ley line or something too, perhaps, or very close to a ley line.
Yeah, one of the key points that she sort of isolated earlier on. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I like Edmonton. You know, I go up there quite a bit actually, because I mean, considering how huge Canada is, 3 hours to get to another major city, it's not really that long in the grand scheme of things.
Well,
And I don't drive, so I take the bus up there, and it's not even that expensive to take the bus.
as a British Columbian, as a tourist in Alberta, I would definitely take Edmonton over Calgary. No offense, my friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Like, are we too cowboyish down here? Is it too much of
I don't know
a
what
yippee-ki-yay cowboy narrative here, or is it
I don't know what it is. It's
too big?
maybe too big for and too close together in some ways. I don't know. I don't know what it is. That might change if I visit Calgary again, but we'll see.
The urban sprawl in Calgary is ridiculous, I will say.
Mm.
I mean, the downtown core itself, while much larger than Edmonton's, you could still walk from one end to the other in no time.
Mm.
You know, you can go from the far west end of the far east village in an hour, not even, just walking.
Mm.
You know, but the city of Calgary itself, in terms of, you know, all the suburbs and everything, we're so sprawled out. We're way too spread out and huge. They had to change the route of the ring road twice because it was taking them so long to plan and finance the ring road around the city that the city grew beyond where they originally planning the ring road. So they had to change the plans a couple times.
That's interesting.
Because we just
That's interesting.
it's like we're allergic to building upward. Except for in the downtown core. They'll build, you know, like 60, 70-story buildings in the downtown core. Oh, yeah, no problem there, bud. But in the suburbs, are they going to build like a 10-story apartment or condo? No. They'll build 2-story townhouses everywhere. And so they just need more and more land. It's ridiculous. Edmonton's not really like that. It's you're right. It's not as imposing to visit. I found that
exactly.
I found that it didn't take me long to figure out where everything was in Edmonton when I lived there in terms of places I needed to go. I mean, I wasn't going to go hang out at West Edmonton Mall. I think most people that live in Edmonton, they don't shop in West Edmonton Mall, even if it's 2 blocks away. It's kind of a tourist thing, really.
Yeah,
or a vacation spot because of the water park and the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I was only in Edmonton for maybe a month, and I kind of knew pretty much how to get everywhere and where I needed to go. And it was because it isn't so spread out. Even if I did need to go to the opposite end of the city, sometimes I could get there in one bus. I didn't have to transfer 6 times like here, you know? So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I'm still highly insulted, though.
Yeah, no, I apologize as a true Canadian. Please accept my apology.
I accept. I can tell by the tone of your voice that you're very sorry about it.
That's right. That's right.
And on that note, I think that's going to do it. What do you say, bud?
Yeah, that was fun.
It was because I was surprised again as an Albertan and somebody who's lived and visited Edmonton many times. There was a couple of things that in your photo file that shocked me, and then there's when I was researching some of these goofy stories.
Yeah,
the abandoned coal mine tunnels under the downtown was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's like retroactive history for you.
And the ski jump over the 4-lane highway. Edmonton's a bunch of thrill seekers, I guess. They're not even frightened. They're not skittish. They'll just give her, bud. Oh, man. Yeah, so there you go, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us here for another episode of the Knucklehead Show, episode 18, Edmonton. Chris, what's coming up for you, bud?
Well, I've got my next video will be on La Crosse, Wisconsin. Much the same. Yeah.
Spelled like the sport?
Well, it's separated L-A and then Crosse, C-R-O-S-S-E. Right on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin, but I haven't touched on the Midwest for a little while. I've been doing sort of videos based on building type rather than location. So we're going to go back to the Midwest in this one, and we're going to find much the same story as we find everywhere else, of course.
And kind of in that Great Lakes area there, Minnesota and Wisconsin there. Yeah. That's an interesting part of the realm there here in North America, is in and around the Great Lakes region.
Yeah, right up into Winnipeg, even, just north of all of that. And
yeah, absolutely.
very interesting. History doesn't make sense.
Links below for your books as well, right, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Thanks. I have 3 books on demolished buildings in Old World, North America. And I also have a calendar, 2026 calendar that I put out a month or 2 ago. So if you're interested in getting some visuals of some of these amazing North American cities, they are kind of nice, actually. I put the calendar up. We have it here in the house, and it's kind of fun just to walk by it and be reminded that there are castles everywhere.
Is this your second or third calendar?
It's my second calendar, second
Right.
annual, I suppose.
But your third book already.
3 books out. Yeah, 3
Yeah.
books on the subject.
And then you co-authored another book too, didn't you?
I did, yeah, with John and Melissa Reiser a while back. So, yeah, that's
So that's how you support Chris's channel is that way you're getting something for your donation, for lack of better terms. You're getting a book or you're getting a calendar, but you're still helping to support Chris and his work.
for all the time I put into all the research. It takes a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to tell you how much work it is to do the digging and just to get some of the tidbits out of there.
Absolutely. And then Canada, because part of the former Commonwealth, a lot of times, you're looking up something that you think is Edmonton, Alberta, but it's Edmonton in the UK, and you think, oh wow, look at that building.
Mhm.
And then you realize, oh no, that's in the UK. I can't use that one or whatever. Like
Yep.
that's a big problem, I'm sure, in a lot of former Commonwealth countries, but here in Canada, because practically every town or city is named after a town or city in England.
Yeah, in the
And the
States.
schools and churches are named after schools and churches in England, or kings or dukes or princes or princesses. It's crazy.
No, I was going to say in the States too, you get a lot of double ups on city and town names. You're going to find a Springfield in like 30 different states, so it's funny how they reuse names from state to state. Very interesting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of filtering and scrutinizing they have to do when you're doing the research to make sure that you've being as accurate as you possibly can.
Mhm. Mhm.
So links below for everything that we covered at the top half of the show, with the Wikipedia and some of the goofy narrative surrounding Edmonton. And then links below for how you can get a hold of myself at New West Reset, and then Chris over at Old World Exploration.
I should mention, because at the very last minute I had to re-upload this, I didn't get to put all the links on my end. So get over to Frankie's and check out all the links over on his. I'll retroactively put that in here after, but we had a bit of a technology hiccup before we started tonight, so I had to re-upload.
Yeah, there's StreamYard is doing some updates, and it's throwing a few hitches in the giddy up, if you will.
Well, get over to
Yeah.
Frankie's channel anyway and give him a sub if you're not. If you're watching on my channel, get over there and follow his work over there.
Oh shucks, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I take donations as well, but it's also you're not just giving something for nothing. I years ago when I started my channel, I had people asking how they could help support my work, and to be honest, I kind of felt funny about it because I'm just a small fish in a big pond here. But people were like, "Oh, come on," like I realized it takes time and effort to do this. So I set up a PayPal, but what I did was I had some t-shirts and some hats printed. So if people make a donation to my channel through PayPal, I'll send you a hat or a t-shirt of your choice. Just let me know your address and what size you wear, and I'll keep your address confidential, and you won't have to pay postage or nothing. It's just my way of thanking you for supporting me.
Oh, we do have a question here in the chat. When's the next show? Oh boy, it's hard to live up to our dates these days. We should try to do it a little more regularly, though. It's been a little while since we did our last one, so let's try
Yeah,
to do
well, I mean, we were coming up on Canadian Thanksgiving, then we had American Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is coming up. So
Yep.
between the last one we did, which was Ottawa, and this one was a little while, but I mean, it depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
We could tentatively try to shoot for mid-January,
Yeah.
right in the new year, and
Yeah. We'll come
let
up
us know when you would like to see us do another show, and let us know where you would
Someone's-
like to see us do.
Valentine's Day show. Kinley's saying.
Valentine.
My wife would kill
Valentine's.
me.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Do a Valentine's show in February, sure.
Yeah, I'll clear it with the wife first.
Yeah. That's You gotta check with Mrs. Old World.
That might get me in hot water.
Yeah, we don't need Chris in the doghouse. You'd have to build it first.
That's right. I made it out of brick and stone, though. It wouldn't burn down.
I was just gonna say, careful, it might burn down. You better just make it out of clinker bricks so everybody stops and takes pictures of it.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
puts it up on their YouTube. Look at this 300-year-old doghouse. No, I just made it out of clinker bricks. I cheated.
Yeah. It's just the style.
Yeah, it was all the rage in the Victorian era.
That's
Yeah, right. So yeah, let us know in the comments below where you would like to see us explore next. We try to stick to Canada, but once in a while we'll go on a road trip. So let us know. There's a Knuckleheads playlist on both our channels that already features all the cities that we've explored. So yeah, just cross-reference that playlist and let us know where you'd like us to go to and check out. Always willing to take suggestions. Somebody much earlier in the chat was asking you, Chris, how somebody could send you a video. They've done some boots on the ground, but they want to send you the video, is from what I understand.
It doesn't always work through email. They should email me first, and then we could probably figure out a way to do it.
All right. Yeah, there you go. And it's oldworldexplorations@gmail.com.
Yeah, all of my about section has all that info, so people can go poke around there. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.
All right, so there you go. I think that is going to do it. So we'll tentatively say January or February, and let us know where you would like us to explore, and we'd be more than happy to check it out. All right, buddy. That was great. Stay warm up there in the mountains there in British Columbia.
Will do.
And thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas, and all the best for the new year to everybody. Really, really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Take care.
I'm in love with the old world. 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 Love your old world ways.
I think that was like our best show ever.